It's a new year.
Yeah.
And it's new possibilities. And boy, do we ever need this.
That's facts.
Cricket Wireless can help you make that switch with a new plan, $30 a month.
Yes. That's right for you.
Listen, that's right for you.
Yeah.
That's right for you.
Yeah.
That's right for you.
That's right.
Cricket Wireless, make that switch now.
Smile and switch to Cricket. Activation and other fees and restrictions apply. Terms subject to change. See stores for details.
You couldn't just look at the camera and say it?
I'd rather look at you guys. What's poppin', people? Welcome back. It's been a long time. We shouldn't have left you. I know we took a week off for mandatory
resting season, session, whatever you want to call it.
If we've learned anything from podcasting in the past week is that sometimes it's good to just
not say anything.
Not say nothing.
Sometimes you gotta say something, but we just not.
In a world where everybody gets paid to say something, sometimes it's best to just say nothing.
Yeah,
but it's good to be back.
Yeah.
What's poppin', people? Welcome back to Say Less with Kaz, Lowkey, Rosy. Yeah. She'll be here in a little bit. My name is Kaz.
This is Lowkey right here, Howard University graduate, hip hop R&B.
Throwback.
Yes. Or album music hits. It's been a week. It's been a week. We just did the second episode of Rap Life live
in Atlanta.
Clark.
Saw that.
Atlanta. You know, Dirk did a performance, Saweetie and Moneybagg Yo. We interviewed some students. It was a great time down there. So shout out to Clark again.
Nice.
Clark Atlanta for, allowing us to.
Shout out Clark Atlanta. Shout out Apple. Shout out Eve, homie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, check it out on YouTube.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Shout out Rosy. Rosy be here any minute. You know, she had a
she's always fucking late.
She had a very eventful week, I heard.
Oh yeah, we gonna let her tell that story. Yeah, we gonna let her have that moment.
I want to hear this.
Yeah. And we got a special guest in the building. You know what I mean? El Presidente.
Mastermind.
Yes, sir.
How y'all feeling? Thank y'all for having me.
E, President of Dreamville. Thank you so much for coming in, man. And we got you. It's lucky that we actually got you in person.
I don't know how we got you now in the midst of everything. Like I'm not. How did we get you here, brother?
Kaz, he hit me up like, yo, can you maybe zoom in? And I was like, yo, I'm actually coming to New York. What was it, Thursday?
It was Thursday.
And I flew in Thursday night with the family to see family, and my boys having his baby shower. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll pull up. And then I was like, man, if I'm gonna do this, I gotta come in person.
Gotta come up.
I gotta get the energy.
I love the Zoom interviews.
The energy's different when you're in person.
But it ain't like this. Yeah. It ain't like this. But first off, before we get into anything, obviously, gotta congratulate you.
Thank you, man.
On the incredible. I mean, I want to say incredible just record sales, but like the rollout, like we in group chats.
Pristine, that shit was just.
I'm in group chats with the everybody's of media. You know what I mean? When it comes to rap media, I ain't gonna put names out to protect the innocent,
of course.
But we all brought rollouts back, low-key. Like the fact that y'all had the slam cover, the interlude. The album drops. He goes and announces he's playing pro ball in Rwanda.
Yeah,
does all right. Holds his own. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wakes up to a #1 album.
The freestyle, the LA Leakers freestyle. Yes, like it was nice to feel a rap star get treated like a rap star for a while.
It felt organic and it felt true to him.
For sure. And
nothing about that was forced.
Yeah,
so
and I think what it is with that is like. I think it started with him. I think he was so locked in on this album. He was so excited. He like the last couple of albums were different for us. Like he was talking from the outside looking in.
It was a lot of third person.
Exactly.
Like For Your Eyes Only felt like from somebody else. Revenge of the Dreamers was obviously a group joint, but this continues in the vein of like the warm up, the come up, Friday Night Lights, all that type of stuff. So it feels more cohesive, right?
And I think what happened too is the work he put in to get to this point gave him a different confidence. So once you have that confidence and you know like kind of what you have, you want to do right by the product. You know what I mean? So I think at that point it came like any ideas that I had or he had, we would just shoot it around. And the funny thing is everything happens for a reason, but the Africa thing wasn't supposed to be a part of the rollout.
All right, so tell me about
Because
that.
I'm like, yo, these niggas is good.
Because I see him working out with Chris Brickley. Like I see him like really, there's a difference between like, oh, I'm gonna get some buckets in, and like you go to work out with Chris Brickley, like that's a job. Like you're trying to prepare yourself, and he's getting some run with some actual NBA dudes. So when this gets announced, I'm a little shocked, but not necessarily. I'm like, all right, I see he was putting in the work for this.
Well, what happened is he put in the work. Initially, he just wanted to like change his jump shot because Cole was always like really good at basketball. But he was, what we call.
He don't tuck the elbow, man.
Yeah, he was a will player.
Get in here, Rosie. Rosie's here. She's back on vacation. We just started, so you didn't miss much. You got your tan on. Shout out to you. Hurry up, woman. We go. Continue. My bad.
Oh yeah, no, it's cool. How you doing? I don't know if we've ever met.
Eve, Rosie, Eve.
I know you from the podcast, but not.
Slide right in.
Yeah, so I think what ended up happening is he just wanted Cole, like, for anyone that knows him, like, he loves the process more than he really loves the results. Like, I mean, of course he loves the result, but like, when I hit him with the album going #1 is the numbers, he tells me congrats. Like he don't really like, he like, yo, congrats.
He don't want to sit in it. He want
to. He just like, I did the work. I made the album. I'm proud of the album. Whatever.
Yeah.
So with basketball, it's like, he was always a will kind of player where basically he just figured it out, but he never had like the mechanics and stuff. So out of nowhere, he just wanted to learn how to shoot better. So he went to Chris. Chris changed his jump shot around. And I think Cole always had in his mind, like, basically, I'm just going to see how far I could push it. It was never like, I'm going to play in the NBA. I mean, he's like, I just want to be, like, he always talks about, that's why he loves Steph, honestly. He always tells me, like, bro, Steph maximizes his talent.
Yeah.
Like, that's his thing. Like, I'm going to maximize whatever I got to maximize it. So I think he was
There was a line that he said in one of the rollouts to the documentary where he was like, I had to look myself in the mirror and say, like, am I comfortable,
For sure.
Maxing out everything? And he was like, nah, I wasn't ready to do that yet.
And that's real, because it's easy to get to his, to where he's at and get too comfortable. And that's kind of like, there was a window where he was there, but he had to like realize that, like, yo, let me get out my comfort.
Did you feel like, with that whole process of him creating an album and then just wanting to perfect his game, did you feel like it was going to intervene with creating an album?
It was tough at points, because there was a moment where he was working out more than he was doing music.
Right.
He had to find that balance. Then he went into a moment where he was so deep into making the music that he was like falling off on the working out. So it's like he had to kind of keep finding that balance, because he doesn't know how to do anything halfway. Right. You know what I mean? Like, he built a whole fucking NBA-sized gym during the pandemic just so he could work out at his crib. Like, that's just kind of the person he is. But so it was a little tough, but I knew from years of us working together, it's like, you got to trust him to know when it's time to like do what, because he'll know, oh, you know what, I gotta get out the studio for.
Because I was about to ask, like, were there uncomfortable conversations like, yo, homie, like, I need this, so I need you to.
We've had those conversations. It wasn't uncomfortable, because one thing he stopped doing, he was like, I'm done working on the clock. I'm done like feeling like I gotta put out an album by this day.
Right.
Or I gotta, because then it fucks up the creativity and allowing you to do what you do. So it never like, for me, it was more me being like, fuck, like I was the one that was nervous, like, nigga, like.
That's what I'm saying. Like, come on, bro.
Because also it's like there's a thing, like, you want to be first to the punch,
Right.
You know what I mean? You want to get there before Dre gets out. You want to get there before, for me at least. For him, I know he don't care, but for me, it's like.
I was about to say, like, I know for him, he's been very adamant about like not rapping for the quote unquote crown and stuff like that. But as fans, when he comes out, then you're like, okay, it's. I think we're all, honest here. It's him, Kendrick, and Drake when it comes to, the generation, right?
Yeah.
So, with you wanting to be on him about like getting out there first, like, was there any sort of like apprehension with the things that he didn't do that fans wanted him to do? Like, I know he worked with other producers, he had features, he did all that other stuff.
That's on him. Like, he knew what he needed to do. I've always been about, like, not always, but like, I knew around Middle Child, like when he did Middle Child, I was like, damn, this is kind of what people want. And I was like, that's why I was like, yo, we just got to put it out.
Shit, that's what I wanted.
If you know him, he'll hold something for a year and a half. So we did that song in December. It was out by January. That's kind of like very rare. Huh?
He be hoarding music.
What?
All he do is
said it in
hard
the
music.
documentary. Like, all than Shade Beholder?
Yeah.
Like a lot of the records, I think on the off season,
some of them were
he was working on during the Dreamville sessions too, right?
No, but even before, like Close, he's had for a while. Let Go My Hand, he had that verse for a little while. He really recorded that, I think, while he was making KOD and kind of like, all right, I'm gonna hold this off because it doesn't fit in here. So he definitely hoards music, but that's because it's.
I mean, every artist does
I know,
that though.
but if he's known to hoard music, come on.
So if you're hoarding music, if he was hoarding music, and I have slept with this album for ever since it dropped, my favorite album of the year so far. He said he's had Hold My Hand for a long time, and that's when he talks about the scrap of Puff. Like you were there.
Yeah,
that's 8 to 7 8
He didn't make it then. He made it like
Did the first version of that song include that Puff story and prayer? Or
no, the prayer part he hit Puff like in the last week of the album. But he had the
That's
verse.
when he's in his love mode.
And then
he's like, call me love. I'm love.
Exactly. It was perfect timing for Dr. Love or whatever he calls it. But Boss, Black, all that was added late. He had the hook in the verse, and then Boss came through to Carolina and did what he does, which was incredible. And then he added Puff like last minute. But the verse was just something. Literally, my boy Tim, who works at Interscope, he sent me a bunch of beats. And he'll send me beats, and I'll go through them and be like, "Oh, this one sounds fine." So I just send it to Cole while he was on vacation somewhere. So I forgot what he was doing.
And he has a whole verse about that.
And then, but then he didn't even do anything with it.
Okay.
And then I guess like a year or so later,
he was going through it, or like he said,
a
like
year
you
later,
sent him a beat,
And then he probably just like, "Oh, this is dope." I don't know. Sometimes he'll be like, "Oh, this is dope. I'll just save it to the side." And then if like he gets the itch to write, a year later, he probably goes through those same beats and he'll be like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
So it's like he had that verse. It's just He's good at that. It's like I tell people like Wet Dreams was recorded in 2007 and then come out to 2014. It's still playing on the radio
and
all
it still
the time.
holds up.
You know what I mean? Like, he just knows when certain things fit. And that was just one of them. And the Puff story, I mean, I remember hearing it and just laughing because I was there.
We've all heard we've all heard like bits and pieces of this alleged Cole Puff Kendrick scrap.
Yeah. I'm not gonna go into detail.
We don't need details.
But it's definitely not what people are saying.
Okay.
It was definitely not like he was defending Kendrick.
Like,
so it wasn't what it was.
Like,
it wasn't what it was.
Gotcha.
It was,
All right, that's all we need to know.
Yeah, it wasn't like, don't talk to Kendrick like that.
I'm thinking after school special.
Like shit, like
Kendrick has his drink and Puff like slaps out his hand. Cole stands up like, wait.
Kendrick was there. Top was there. Jay was there. Beyonce was there. Me and Cole. And, grown men got a little heated.
A little alcohol.
All I remember is me and Jay looking at each other like a quick glance, like, oh, these niggas about to fight. And then just being like, oh no, this is about to happen. But I just leave it at that because
we'll leave it at that. Some hip hop stories are best to leave.
Yeah, just keep it.
The funny part though, you want to know the funny part is that was a VMA party. Everyone was there. I remember.
I remember talking to Rob Markman about it too. He was out there.
Angela Yee was like literally at the table. If I'm not mistaken, she.
Yes.
I fuck with Yee, but she got rumor reports.
Yeah, I'm saying like you looking over there like
the next day.
Walking out of there, I'm like, oh, this is about to be bad.
Tomorrow morning is gonna be a shit show.
Exactly. But for some reason, no one had a camera out. No one a couple people was talking about it, but
I think because of the personnel in that room, they respected to keep it just like, what we saw is what we saw. The only thing I heard about was Top was the one that tweeted about it.
Your camera might get snatched too.
That's true.
Snap right out your hand.
I mean, Top tweeted about it, and that's pretty much all we knew.
Because we ended up pulling back up on Top and Kendrick after later that night. Because Top was like, "Yo, pull up," like. Because everybody there was kind of like, we got to figure this out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Y'all in the war room, like, all right. This shit gonna hit his fan in the morning.
Even Puff was like, I want to like figure this out. Because the next day he pulled up, they chopped it up. It is what it is. It was never a real issue at first.
Look, one motherfucker sobered up.
Yeah.
We even seen the video on Revolt when like, they're doing like the fake fight, like or whatever.
Exactly. So it was chill. I think him just talking about it though is like, I call those moments where like let go of my hand. Like I tell him like, damn, like those are some of my favorite songs when you just go through your train of thought.
Yeah.
And it like just starts and it ends somewhere totally different. And it's like to be able to go from the realization that your son is like, yo, let go of my hand, all the way to like, yo, I gotta make sure my son, you know, is tough out there.
Like,
all the
niggas
way
gonna
to
try
like,
him,
I ended up fighting Diddy. It's a ridiculous stretch, but
Yeah.
he knows how to like weave it together. So to me, it was just like,
I think that's his gift, man. Like I've you know, I've been a Cole fan since I started my writing career, right? And I think Cole's gift is starting at a very relatable level and then taking it to a level where it's just like, okay.
Marvel.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's just like, how did we get into a fist fight with Puff? Like, okay, yeah, we all know the feeling of like, all right, you know, I'm not no violent person, but I ain't gonna have nobody out here thinking I'm a punk. Every young black man can relate to that to some level. And how far are you willing to take that? Are you willing to stand up in front of motherfucking All About the Benjamins himself?
It comes to the point in your life where it's like,
Yes, I will.
okay, like, yeah, he's a man just like me, so I got to make
Exactly.
sure
That's
that you
really
know,
what it
like,
is.
my area is my area, but you're not gonna disrespect me.
yeah, and
Random
you know,
whoever you are.
even when he was talking about, you know, being a kid going through that, because we've all been through that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, niggas like, damn, I really ain't trying to fight this nigga.
I'm thinking I'm
I kind of gotta fight this nigga. Like,
I gotta do this shit
like,
now.
you know what I
Too
mean?
many
So-
eyes in the room.
So it's like that was one thing that I appreciated, because so many people I know was like, damn, I relate to that. And then so many fathers I know was like, you know, I'm going through it now, where your son is like, yo, chill.
Get
like,
out of here, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So it's just a realization of like, it's just like you said, it's just relatable.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I always felt like he does better than everyone else. That's why it's funny when I see the conversation online. It's like, he's not trying to be deep. Like, there's nothing that's trying to be deep about it. It's just, it's so relatable that it hits certain people very deep. You know what I mean? And then, you know, people take it how they want it, but
they're telling themselves when they say that. I always say that about people that go out of their way to be like, oh, he's boring, he's this, he's that. And I'm like, yo, you're telling on yourself.
you just
it's
didn't
like,
feel it. You just didn't, it didn't connect with you. Cool.
if it didn't
Like,
connect with you, that is totally fine.
Exactly.
But
Just
I'm
say
yo,
that.
That's my
No,
shit.
yo, you know what's funny? Speaking of like online chatter, I saw an exchange between you and Ice.
like recently?
Yeah, like you know when the
Ice
album came
from
out, officially
Joe
Ice.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And like he's always given Cole a hard time, and so he kind of admitted like, yo, this was the
He
one.
did it before, and then he did it again where he was like, I think it might have been around maybe Born Sinner where he said kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, I mean, you know, we all came up with the same era.
yeah.
There was an era where that shit would get to me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because I was so, I'm still am, but you get older and you realize what it is. But at the time, like, I was so connected to Cole's career, Dreamville, the brand, all the artists that's like, niggas talking shit would be like, damn, bro, like we out here working. But I had to realize, like, yo, this is what
And like he's
do.
known
Yeah.
for that. Like if you know
Exactly.
Twitter, you like that's what
Exactly.
he does. So to see like the kind of 180 flip and like for you to acknowledge it, because I know like I look at music like that all the time. Like damn, like I can't say certain things, but if I do say something, I gotta kind of stand on it.
Yeah.
And he stands on his shit. But you know, when he's wrong, he's wrong. So that it was just kind of dope to see
No,
you know
for
him
sure.
acknowledge that. Shit.
And it's also because end of the day, it's like you only feel a way when it's people you kind of respect their opinion.
Of course.
Like if it's one of y'all, I'm gonna be like, damn, I wonder why Lowkey, like, you know, I
Yeah.
wonder why you didn't like it. I wonder
Yeah.
why you didn't like it. But if it's like, you know, Pitchfork or Stereo Gum, I'm like, I don't care. Like I know,
That's-
I know.
yeah, we get it.
We get it. Like that's your job
Right.
to do that. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
It's like I know what it is. Like I know there's certain people every time Cole comes out is gonna write something negative. But before it used to get to me, now I get it like, oh, okay, that's part of the game. What was dope about this album is the people like Ice or whoever, like the people that usually would hate on Cole, this is the most I've seen them flip. This like the I
'Cause
want
I
to say
think
the
this-
most positive reaction I've seen from one.
This is the album to me, and I've you know I always say like how much of a Cole fan I am. This is the album to me that he did the most that people wanted to see from him.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
it was like anything that anybody had a gripe with his music, he answered it on this album. Like it was, he had dope features. He had great production. He didn't take a bar off. Like every song is so dense with lyricism. Like there wasn't like those one or two songs where it's just like, oh, okay, you could tell that one's kind of mailed in.
Yeah.
You know, like, and even if you watch the documentary, even if you watch kind of like the way he's kind of carried himself throughout like the Revenge of the Dreamers process, you can kind of tell there's a power in kind of like knowing where you are in the landscape. And I think
Sure.
he's
That's
absolutely
important. No, he's aware.
got that now.
He was very aware, and I think, you know, after KOD going into that feature run, that's really what it was, and that was him being like, he said in the doc, like, I'm not gonna keep, like, let me show up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think once the feature run happened, then Middle Child, then like Revenge, for me, I would always tell him, like, man, the off season's got to be like the planting of the flag of what you did for that. Like, it's got to be like, if you was fucking with the feature run and you was fucking with Revenge and that energy, this is like the crowning of it.
Yeah.
Then we can go somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you have to give them that in a project. And I think he was already there. Like, and it's dope, you know. But it's like you said, when we make albums, I feel like it's probably like 5 people that still care about this, but like we still care about the album process. So it's like to cut out songs that you feel like,
And that's why we felt this felt like such a good process.
It's important because there were songs up until the last week that got cut out. You know what I mean? That maybe I love. There were songs that he loves that.
I was gonna say, did we get into favorite tracks yet? Because
I had a couple, but you got a couple. I mean, please, we could go through them. I got.
Let's go.
Let's go around the room.
You have a couple? All right, let's narrow it down.
My favorite record on there, which I heard you made an official single, is the 21 Savage and Murray My Life record.
How did Murray come up? Because I know he's fairly new.
Yeah,
he's from Fayetteville.
But he's from
and that's
Fayetteville.
the thing. That's the question I want to ask. I heard.
That's why I'm like,
I heard from around the grapevine. I ain't gonna say no names of who told me, but like I heard that you guys were you and Murray were, you know, like very close. Not close, but like, you know.
It wasn't me. What happened is this. Murray, he's from Fayetteville, but we didn't know about him.
Right.
He's dope.
And the dude Mo Shalizi, who signed him and found him, super dope dude. He like managed a bunch of people. Like he managed Southside, Marshmello.
Yeah.
Super dope. And he found him and he posted like a clip the day before. Like no one knew who this dude was. That's why I give Mo a lot of credit, because you got to find that. You got to. I don't know how he found it. Like I spoke to Mo, he said he just going on YouTube, SoundCloud.
So like Quicksand Records,
on YouTube, and I saw the video. I was like, "This is like North Carolina." I looked it up. He's like
North Carolina as well.
And he had
I was like, "There we
G-shirt.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like that's
he
some
looked
real
like
Carolina country shit.
I thought it was from Raleigh though, but
no, so he's from Fayetteville, and then Cole sent it to me that morning. Like, yo, did you see this? I'm like, bro, I just because my boy Derek that works with us, his boss, he sent the IG clip the night before, like, damn, somebody found like a gem in Fayetteville before y'all.
Was there ever a thought of like, yo, let's get him on the bill, let's sign him, or?
Well, he was already signed. Like we wanted to try to like figure something out, but he was already in a situation, and then it wasn't it was a situation where Cole was like, well, regardless of the, you know, like I want someone from Fayetteville to take off other than me. Like he'd been waiting for a moment like that. So when he did My Life, he had like obviously the hook reference. He knew he wanted to do that hook, and he was like, damn, I want Moray to sing that. So, you know, Moray pulled up to Raleigh. Damn, I didn't want to say that. But Moray was at.
Well, that's what Dreamville Fest was at.
That's what the studio is.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. He pulled up, they knocked it out, and then me and Cole flew to Atlanta to like kick it with 21. Playing the record, because we knew like
that was my second part of my question. Like y'all, you and Savage are like 2 for 2 right now.
Well, you know what it is, Cole,
3 for 3.
I was about to ask, like, is there like a special connection?
Well, I think what it is that like I think Cole really respects like just like honest, like straight up people. You know, that's why he rocks with Thug. That's why he rocks with Savage. Not that he doesn't rock with other people, but he built a relationship with Savage. I think it was Made in America, and they started just chopping it up. And he was like, I remember him telling me like, this nigga's a smart ass nigga. Like people don't really know. And then, you know, I think they kept in touch, and then Savage wanted him on the album, sent him something. It wasn't the right one. Then like he felt like, damn, I should go pull up on him, because I told him I would do something. That's how a lot came about. So since then, like, you know, they kept in touch. Like Savage hit him when Moray shit dropped. Like, yo, this nigga's from Fayetteville. Like, y'all know about this? You know what I mean? Like, it's that kind of like, and even I remember in Clubhouse, Savage once was like, yo, he was telling me, he was like, yo, I told Cole, I need to get up on dude. Like, so it's like, you know, anybody that knows Savage, he's just naturally just honest, good dude.
I don't think
gray head on the shoulder.
There's only a handful of people that took off because of Clubhouse. Savage was.
Savage,
if you didn't fuck with Savage before Clubhouse, afterwards you're like, I like this motherfucker. Like
I love Savage, but a little part of me kind of wanted just Murray and Cole on that track.
But nah, you know what?
Just a little, just so it could have been just a Fayetteville track.
I mean,
but
I think they'll get another one. I think they'll get another one.
I love Savage.
But I think what Savage added is so important, because he added a different perspective.
Yes.
And he said something. I remember the first time Cole played me the verse, and I was like, This nigga said the send teddy bears whenever we make their mama cry. Like,
yeah.
bro, that's wow,
Like,
bro.
hold on, man.
That also speak to like
I love
the
stuff
kind of nigga that he is.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a way of saying like, yo, I do these things, but I naturally got a good heart. Like, you know what I mean? He just put it in the ass bar.
but-
Yeah. And
He's
that's
like, I fucked up. I got my fault.
and I feel like that's how a lot of
I'm gonna
people
say some
are, you know what I
roses
mean?
and teddy
Yeah,
bears.
That was what Cole's whole shit was with the horn and the
Toxic,
halo.
bro.
That's a very
You know what I
relatable.
mean? That's a very relatable thing.
Y'all
Yes.
all
I love that.
toxic.
It's not
For
toxic.
agreeing.
It's like, yo,
I'ma
listen.
fuck up, but I'ma tell you
It's like
teddy
it's like the
bear.
nuance of it. It's like
You gonna
duality.
get
It's like,
some
yeah, I
roses.
fucked
You a
up,
nice
but
guy for that. Like, you know what I mean?
You toxic.
I mean, my name is 21 Savage. Like, what you
I'm not even gonna call the cops on you for that. I'm like, you know what?
Think about the moms too. Like,
And he recognized it like every time I fuck up, I just gotta send a little teddy bear. It's all good. Maybe it gets bigger every time. Who knows?
Man. But no, I love the Savage feature because that first listener experience is so important to me,
Yeah.
and I love tapping into an album. You don't see the feature credits on there. You don't see nothing.
I
So,
fought Cole on that because I really wanted the features on there.
oh,
Because I
It's
felt
more the shock of it was
that
way
it.
more.
He was
That
like,
And
he
he
was
gotta
like,
figure out
nah.
who it is too.
Yeah,
Wait, I know who this
He
is.
was like, nah, no features. I was like, you sure? And then he hit me with like, at one point, he's like, hey, bro, why you keep asking like you want? Like, I'm like, all right, you win, nigga. Like, but I definitely fought
that
him
moment
on
where you're listening to it for the first time and you hear that new voice, it's always like, first thing you want to run into it, like, you heard Cam.
I always
You
like
heard
21.
Cam, bro. Like, listen.
Yeah, that was
95
cold.
South is my favorite one.
J. Cole.
And Little John at that tail end of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that was my favorite one.
J. Cole's an adopted New York son. Like anybody, like his come up is
But
very.
that's
No,
why it
for
was my
sure.
favorite one.
Yes.
Because he kept talking about like the New York, North Carolina
Yeah.
shit. I was like, that's me. Yeah,
for
Cole. Let's be
Running
related.
back and forth to NC with Jeezy
Cole
had the
is
title.
me.
That
Yeah.
shit,
And that was
And
the
that
same time.
was again. That was like.
That was another last
Cole was
minute
like,
joint.
yeah, I want. That was literally that's the last vocals that came in was Kim.
Really?
Like right before we finished like mixing and mastering.
And he didn't want a verse, right?
Now
Just
he
wanted to
knew
do like
what he wanted him to do.
Yeah.
Because he had those two verses, and the Little John part is actually like he sampled that from the Little John. Like
Yeah.
he didn't get
him.
Lil Jon
Yeah,
to
yeah,
do
yeah.
it. I mean, obviously Lil Jon had to clear it.
Right.
But you know, it's like he sampled that, so everything was there, but like the middle and the intro, and he was like, "Yeah, I want to get Cam." As soon as he said that, I was like, "Oh God, that's so good." Like,
That's so good.
that's so real.
But
As soon as-
I think it's better for him not to have a verse, as like just him
Yeah.
on that
Yeah.
intro is just
Dope.
more nostalgia.
Just him
Like
talking.
that, just that
It
just
might-
talking shit talking. Yeah.
Because
Reminded
even though he
Rico.
did it on like at the end of applying pressure, like Cole's not gonna talk his shit.
Yes.
So to hear someone else do it for him, you know what I mean? It's
a
dope.
person like
And
that.
the best, one of the best shit
And one of
talkers
the best
ever,
shit
by the way.
Right.
There's no better shit talker, especially if you firing up an album for the first time and that's the first voice you hear. I was like, oh, this the energy they on.
I'd say
How's it
Puff
go?
is-
There was a track
Puff is
he was
better
talking
talker.
shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The end of applying
Oh,
pressure.
there was he was
he-
talking
he-
his shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
He
oh
was.
my god.
Nah, he was talking this shit in that LA Leakers freestyle.
Yes.
Yeah, that too.
That's still
But
tipping.
at,
That's
at
still
the end
tipping
of Apply
shit.
Pressure, he wasn't even rapping. He was just talking.
Oh no,
shit.
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, I've
oh,
never
somebody
heard
pissed
it.
him off. I like it.
I think it gets to a point where you're like, I think for him, it wasn't about proving people wrong. It was about pushing himself to see like, all right, can I get better? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like he was really doing these drills he was talking about. Like he does
The
these
thing he was talking
7-minute
about
drills.
LA Leakers, right?
Yeah,
Those
like-
7-minute
Yeah, he
joints.
does these 7-minute drills that he had like Cosby doing and T minus. Well, he'll just be like, yo, you got 7 minutes. Like it's basically his way of like breaking out of overthinking. Like don't even think about it. Start a verse. What we gonna talk about? He'll be like, yo, Cos, write a verse about pizza. I don't know. Like, and then they got 7 minutes and then they put the timer on and then it's like, all right, what you got? And he'll do that with T minus. Like, all right, you get to pick your 2-3 sounds before you start. Then you got 7 minutes. And it's just to like a drill.
There's a very basketball way of thinking
Exactly.
for that, right? It's
Exactly.
like get your 20 shots in,
Exactly.
you know,
And then he was doing drills where he was like, he got a bunch of freestyles that like over like a Busta beat, Eminem beat that he was just doing like an ODB beat that he was doing to like just sharpen up his pen. And I got to see that and I was like, oh,
Cool call?
like you really wanted to become better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was his thing is like, yeah, I just want to be better because this is the point where artists usually fall off. Like we know that, you know what I mean? You get to a point where you've done everything and you're kind of like,
You're
mailing
comfortable.
it in.
I mean, I think that was the outright message of the documentary.
Yeah, for
of him
sure.
just wanting to get better. Obviously, as a father,
Yep.
as an artist, and as an athlete. So it was like that really hit me when I was just watching. I'm like, oh, he really thinks like there's more to achieve.
sure.
Obviously, there is, but it's just like, have you seen in that process of like him pushing himself too hard, or going too much?
I think it was when he was trying to juggle the basketball and the music at the same time, because he's never gonna shortcut the father time.
Right.
That's what he's never gonna shortcut. So it's like he was coming in the studio like I think around 10 a.m. his time. I'm in LA. So like we spend the whole pandemic basically between me, him, T minus, our engineer Mez, Cool Deep, who's a record engineer, and like the other Mez that like he was just around, like, you know, shooting videos, kind of giving like ideas for the photo shoots for the Puma stuff. So it's like we spent a lot of that pandemic on FaceTime and working that way because nobody was around each other.
Right.
And he would have moments he'll show up at 10 a.m. till, you know, I think it was 2. Then he would go up, spend time with the kids, make sure that, you know, he eat, put them to bed, then come back down. But then he would try to go, you know, work out at night. And then I caught him. There was a moment where you seen like it was just he hit a wall where he would come back down to the
Like
studio.
Fred Flintstone shit. Like you going to the wrong
He was
place.
like, yo, enough. Like,
He going to the formal with the bowling shoes on. Like, yo, you gotta come.
Yeah, like he would come down and be like, I ain't got nothing. Like, I have nothing for y'all today. And I remember he said it in the KD podcast, like he took like 2 weeks off from the studio. Or like 3 weeks. I remember being at home like, damn, nigga, I thought this project was about to be done. What we doing? But it's like you just gotta trust him. You gotta give him a space. And
So you're the antsy one. He's the
yeah, I am.
You're the antsy
Because-
one. He's the chill one.
Yeah,
It's gonna get done.
because for me it's like we work so close together, but it's, you know, I'm not antsy in the sense that it's like I understand when to not and when to push him, but it's like I just know like damn, like we was just
Still
in a
at home
groove.
thinking like that.
Yeah, like I'm at the crib, like we just hit a groove, like, and then it's like I understand. I gotta know with him. It's like even now, like I thought the project was done,
Yeah.
and it was a little different. I was like, bro, we ready to go, and he was just like, man, I feel like there's just like a couple more things I could do. And then like the last 2 weeks, he did 95 South, Hung on Hillside, and the interlude. And it's like, what would the album be without that? You know what I mean?
and that's the
But-
process you got to trust.
Exactly, because even I told him when we was at his crib, he was working on the interlude, and I was at his crib, and like he was doing a whole different song on it. He had like a whole different verse, working on it, trying to figure it out. And I remember saying on the couch like, bruh, this album's done. Like, what are we doing? Like, just cut the shit. Like, let's move on.
Yeah.
But I knew from years past, like, if I tell him that, he values my opinion so much that it's gonna be like, it's gonna make him overthink.
Right.
He's gonna be like, well, why does Eve not fuck with it?
Yeah.
And then like once the energy's bad, so I was just like, man, let me just be quiet. Let me go get food. Let me go to the hookah spot.
Let me leave this nigga
Let me
alone
just
for a
leave
minute.
this nigga alone. I come back and I'm like, it was literally my favorite song on the project from just that one verse. Cause I was like, damn, like the shit that you said, like in the way you said it and how you said, like I just felt it. I told him because he wasn't even going to drop it. I was like, yo, we got to drop this. And he was like, you sure? I was like, yo, it's not a single. It's not like the hit record. It's not like you barring up. But every time I hear it, I feel something. And that's all I could go off. You know what I mean? Like
You're talking about interlude.
interlude.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I don't care that it's that you only rapping for a minute. It's like I feel something. And if I feel something and I'm a huge fan of your music, I would assume your fans are gonna feel the same way.
Right.
And that's all you could worry about.
And it
Like,
worked.
Yeah, it worked.
It worked.
It got people excited. I'll take some of that. J-Mo.
Yeah, pass that J-Mo.
It got people excited. It got people like ready for the project without giving them too much. You know what I
Right.
mean? So you got to learn to kind of let him do his thing and just trust that there's a reason why we're here. It's because he's incredible what he does, and trust that like once it's there, then I can give my input and kind of go off of that.
You trust that he can do his thing, and you got to trust that fan base too. Like the,
For sure.
The fan base ain't going nowhere. Like that's
the connection that Dreamville as a whole and the fan base has is one that I don't think is really replicated in all of hip hop. Like,
that's
and
right.
you could talk, you know, with all the other big dogs, but there's a special connection that y'all have with y'all fan base through, you know, like the Dollar and the Dream tours and like people seeing y'all from like come up tapes to now and like just everything. There's just something that you can't
I think
really
what it is the
quantify.
transparency.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like one of the illest part of like this whole rollout to me was the doc, right? When we dropped the doc, because me and Scott
I wanted
came
more.
through.
I was mad it was only 12.
Honestly,
I was mad
you
it
know
was
why
only
it was
12
only
minutes.
12 minutes? Because we was going through and we was like, anything over is just overkill. Like it wasn't. It honestly wasn't like we had that much fire footage to go over.
Right.
It would have just been a repeat of what we were saying.
Okay.
It's kind of like that. Like when you
We
make
want
album,
it.
you got to know
We
how
don't
to cut out the
care.
fat.
Repeat everything in a different way.
Number one rule of showbiz is keep them wanting more. So
Look, we
that
want
was
we want behind the scenes to the 20
You
minutes.
got a couple like because honestly, him and 21 spoke for like 3
And
hours.
I knew that conversation was a lot longer.
No, it was like they had the cameras on the whole time, and it was like me, 21, Cole, Meezy was there, Mike Shaw, RJ, because we all went to Atlanta together. And the convo was like.
Well, there
niggas
was more
talking
to
about-
that conversation.
Niggas was talking about love, relationships. Like,
Perfect.
there's
Yeah.
nobody.
He's in his clubhouse
There's
bag.
there's nobody better to hear about relationship and love than 21.
21.
That's a
Yo,
fact.
This is what I'm saying.
telling
I
you.
know
I'm
that
gonna let off a
convo.
clip from that.
He was the MVP of
Nah,
Clubhouse. Like, I was ready to go all in on that app just because of him. I'm like, damn, I really like this motherfucker.
Nah, because he puts it in the realest way
Yes.
that niggas would feel, right?
Yeah.
And so
Send a teddy
hopefully
bear.
we'll get a couple things out. We're gonna get a couple things out. But I think even with the documentary, once it came out, one of the illest things was seeing fans and like peers and other artists hit us up like, yo, I'm inspired. Because when you see someone that's made it to that level and they're like, man, I want more,
Yeah.
you can only get inspired, right? So I think that's what it is with the fans is there's a transparency. Like he knows when to give something and when not. And then he knows when he shows back up, it can't just be, here's the music. It has
Right.
to be like, here's where I am in my life. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's my perspective.
And that's all we want from our artists,
Yeah.
right? Like, we always want to see errors in
Yeah.
them, right? Like, if to simplify it better for like the Instagram generation,
Growth.
anytime the growth, like when you see like
Engagement.
when you see those like animated photos of your favorite artists and there's like they got a different hairstyle, it's
Yeah.
like something error, something error, something error. They just want to see that this person is taking steps to kind of grow. And if you like it, fuck with it. Don't, whatever. Like, there's always something to take away from that, knowing that, like, okay, he's not, Jay said it best. Like, you like my old records, go listen to my old
my
shit.
album,
Like,
yeah.
this is something different. So, I mean, I think a lot of people who listen to this podcast know that, like, J. Cole and his talent is kind of one-to-one, but a lot of them believe, like, they look at somebody like you and be like, yo, I could do that. Like, I want to be able to, I have a friend who's super talented.
Yeah.
I know somebody who could rap their ass over, who could ball, or who could do something. And it's a special type of talent to be able to do what you do because I've known you for over almost a decade now.
Yeah,
like
for
you guys, and the reason why I think a lot of people fuck with Cole within the industry and outside the industry and all that is because he seems to have never like lost that groundedness to him. The same motherfuckers I seen Cole with when he was doing SOBs and source covers and all that
Same
type of
niggas that
stuff.
around now.
The same dudes that he's around right now.
But
So,
also, I like that he goes on his little breaks. It makes
Yeah.
you appreciate his music more.
I wish
versus
more
like the
artists would do
artists,
it.
yeah. Versus
wish-
the artists that got something coming
There's
out every
artists
month.
that-
I'm like, oh,
It's
God.
tough in this day and age, though.
Yes.
Yeah, though.
It's hard to go away.
I
People
like the way-
people are scared to be forgotten about, and I totally understand that. But even some of my favorite artists, like I'm like, yo, you would benefit so much from
Taking a
just
little
shutting
break.
the fuck up
For a
and just
little
going
bit.
away.
Just a
Go
month.
live some
Give us 2
life,
months.
have some kids, motherfucking go play some ball, do whatever
Let
it
us
is you
find out
need to
you
do.
from TMZ.
Yeah, that's
For
right.
me
But
to-
I think what happens with social media is this whole thing of like entitlement, right? So we see the inside, we see the family, we see the relationships, we see the ups and downs. So we want to see everything and we want to see it when we want to see it. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of artists don't know how to just turn that switch off and be like, yo, fuck it. Like I can't, I don't have it. And that drives like the music down, that drives their personality away. It's just like
Yeah,
they're
no, it's
not
hard,
they're not
bro.
attractive. But it's hard to like not
hard.
give your fans, but it's also hard to like stop doing what you love.
No, it's the hardest balance. I tell people all the time, like they don't realize how dangerous of a drug
Fame.
fame is.
Yeah, I seen it.
Oh yeah, you've seen it.
No, and for real, and it's like it's really dangerous because, especially because these are the first generation of famous people with social media.
Right.
So it's like
I can go back and see a tweet from 10 years ago
exactly,
and be like, oh man, look how far this
and
went.
more important than that, it's like I can see a tweet from a nigga with 0 followers, like they just created this account to fuck with you.
Yeah.
And as much as it's not true, it's
gonna
stuck
fuck with
somewhere
you.
back there.
Still hitting you.
It's still like
From
and then you
somebody.
see- then you see exactly it's from somebody. Then you see a couple more of those and they pile up and it's like, I see it. I seen it with Cole early, and then he had to like get away from all that shit. You know what I mean? But I see it with Ari. You know what I mean? Like, and I understand and I feel for her because like, yo, that shit is hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to have people talking about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All day, every day.
And then they know, once they know they can get to you,
They're gonna
keep going.
and you know,
I tell Wale all the
Wale's
time.
like
I'm
my
like, bro.
brother. You know how many times I don't tell him get off, but it's
Stop.
like at the same time, it's like, how can you just tell him because
that's them they talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're not them. We're not in a position where we know what it's like for someone. I mean, y'all do. Y'all have a podcast
See,
out
like,
in the
see,
public
I
eye.
was about to say, like, I won't, like, they'll go into the YouTube comments. I won't, because, like, if I
I do.
see
I
something,
respond.
like you just
Rosie
said,
into the
I be
YouTube
responding.
comments.
like you just
I be
said,
liking shit, talking
somebody
back.
said it.
Yeah.
And the fact that someone's thinking that shit, like, that shit fuck, like, I'm not
it
even
creeps into
a
your
third
head.
of what y'all niggas, you know, go
but
through.
it stays in your head, and that's
I
the
know
most
that shit.
dangerous.
I hate
Because
how that
then it starts fucking with what you do with your art.
Yeah.
Then it starts fucking with how y'all do your podcast.
Yeah.
Y'all might be like,
Damn, I don't wanna say-
People be joking on us when we do this segment, so maybe I don't want.
Thanks.
You know what I
They'll
mean?
say some shit, and I'm like, you know, I'm gonna shut up this week. I'm
Yeah.
gonna let my guys talk.
And you know
Maybe
what?
I was
I
talking
will
too much last
say
week.
this. I will say this. This is mad. This is
I liked it.
this is mad random, right? But I will say that's one thing that I've always respected about Elliot. Because niggas make fun of his laugh all
Niggas
the
fry
time.
Elliot
That
first.
nigga
He don't
won't- he
care.
don't care,
He'll
bro.
retweet you. He'll put
start
it on his
laughing.
IG. And to me, it's
Yeah.
like, yo, that takes a certain strength.
Listen, he's a legend for that, bro.
Yeah, because
He leans in on that shit.
It's almost like
Yeah.
trolling though. He
Yeah,
trolls him
yeah.
back.
But
okay.
to even to like KD trolls, right? But it's like he trolls because he knows he can handle it.
Yeah.
Like certain people can't handle it, and you can feel it with the way a nigga responds. You don't gotta even hear their tone. You can see the choice of words and be like, oh, this nigga mad.
Oh, yeah.
This nigga hot.
Punctuation.
And by the way, I've been there. I've tweeted things back at people early in the days where I'm like, damn, I sound like I'm hot. Like,
Yeah.
and I know
But
they
you
know.
was. So stand on that. Fuck that. Yeah,
and
that shit pissed
and then
me off.
Like I remember because once it was like I got a text from Cole like, hey bro, what you doing? I'm like, you right, nigga. Like, fuck.
No, I remember.
There's nothing
But you
wrong
can't
with
delete
that,
the
though.
tweet.
But like, yo, when I
Nah,
first-
you
can't delete the
If you
tweet.
delete the
Once
tweet,
it's
it's
out
even
there.
worse. Like niggas like,
can't
oh, this
delete
nigga.
it.
bro, when I
See,
first
back in the
came,
day, you could delete the tweets with no trace in
oh
it.
no,
Nah,
yeah,
shoot.
Now it'll
it's
say,
yeah.
Why you
this
delete
tweet has
that,
been
bitch?
deleted. I'm like,
Bro,
fuck.
I remember when I first.
That's the worst. The tweet has been
I'm like,
damn,
fuck,
nigga, you
Man.
snitching. Twitter snitching.
Bro, I
on
remember
you.
when I first came on this podcast, like, I'm not the biggest sports fanatic. Like, I'm not going to break down numbers, this, that, and the third. But I said something about LeBron, whatever, and this nigga gets in the YouTube comments, is like, that motherfucker should never speak on basketball again. Nigga, for the next 2 weeks, I just talked about rap music and relationships. I kept my mouth shut. I'm like, yo, you right, my guy.
You know what? You're right.
You right.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with taking some feedback. And you said at the beginning of the show, obviously it's going to hit more when it comes from people you respect.
Yeah.
But there's something about that nameless, faceless
At
person
random.
Yeah.
that's just like,
That's just up there to hate.
like,
that's not random.
That's somebody that don't like
yeah,
you.
that's somebody
no, for
don't
sure.
like
That
me.
made
When you
him
go to create a whole account,
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
you just don't like this.
You
nigga.
got no followers, not following
Yeah.
nobody, and you come directly to my page.
Nah, you just don't
What
like
about
this.
when I
You
first
planned
started?
this.
People hated me. I think it was better when it was just Kaz and Lil.
I hate it when
Damn.
girls come and ruin guy
I'm like,
podcasts.
damn,
Bro,
you
but we
sexist.
needed that. We
You
needed
don't
that.
want one female opinion?
We needed that
fuck?
perspective. Like, it was me and him going back and forth, just talking like a bunch about
You need
man
it, yeah.
shit.
You
Just
be
like
telling people to
every
send
day.
teddy bears, and
it's
I'm
just
telling
like-
you no.
and it's like,
Don't
That's a
fuck
good
up.
point.
I don't
Now I think about
Just
that
don't
line
fuck
difference.
up. How about if you don't fuck up, you ain't gotta buy a 7-foot teddy bear every
But
time.
we brought her in here and she just gave us a whole different light. We needed that. Like
that's
we could
right.
talk men shit all fucking day, but it's just like we're not
Listen,
gonna expand past
I would have
could talk
traded
about
Rosie
shit
for
too.
anybody on this podcast world, man. She
Aw.
made this
It
whole
was
thing
fun.
really come together.
Sometimes you can
I'm
shut
still
about the
concussed.
chemistry.
so-
Yes, exactly.
Sometimes you can shut the fuck up.
You can't. There's chemistry, and listen, we've learned a lot about podcasts in the past couple of weeks, and the thing is, you cannot fuck up chemistry. And once you got it, you kind of roll with it, and we got it here.
Because
So,
it's like music, right? There's a million podcasts out there.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Million
why am I
artists.
going to tune in?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tune in because there's a certain
There's a
chemistry
dynamic here
that makes
I
it be
fuck
like,
with.
damn, like y'all might make a joke
Once
that
you giggle-
y'all only know about, but now I'm into it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to know why the fuck they.
Nah,
make
nah,
it.
And that's what we're trying to talk to.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to talk to the whole world. I'm not.
It's
I know I'm not
impossible.
gonna- it's impossible to touch everybody.
Yeah.
There's shit that I fuck with. There's shit that he fucks with. There's shit that he
Yeah.
fucks with. That as a collective, somebody hits with, and they're like, I like that. And we're trying to get
That's all
those
you can
people.
do. And by the way, it's like that in music.
Yeah.
That's what I try to tell like our artists. Like, yo, you can't reach for the unknown
No.
and be like, I'm gonna make this song because it's gonna bring in this specific fam. All you can do is worry about And honestly, that came from when we made Forest Hill Drive. And Cole was like, yo, I'm done playing this shit. I'm just gonna worry about our fans. And if they get super excited and they ride,
and they will,
they'll make enough noise
will.
where other people will come in. So it's like that's why we were able to not drop a song before Forest Hill Drive and go to fans' house, because that noise was so loud that everybody else was like, all right, what's going on?
I gotta go
like,
see
what
what this
happened
is.
over
And when you try to like be like, oh, I gotta make a song cause
And on top of that, fans are fickle. So it's like, if you're making songs to attract a certain audience, they only like you for that little bit,
and
then be gone. But if people fuck with you,
that's the
they'll ride
scariest
with you.
thing. That's the scariest thing to me in music is when people love you for a song.
Yeah.
Then it's like, nigga, your time is you on the clock already. You on the clock.
Yo, I got a random question.
Yeah.
It's not that random. But like, since we all listen to music, you obviously, right? How do y'all listen to albums? Everyone has a certain like strategy.
Yo, that's real.
So like the way I listen to it, I listen to a song, like I'll go to the first song. I listened to 95 South like 8 times before I went to the next one. Then I went to the next one. Then I went back to 95 South, listened to the next one.
That's crazy.
Then I listened to the third one over and over and over. Then I went down the album. But some people run the whole shit.
I try to hear the whole album first.
I can't.
And you know, it depends though. It depends on the artist. Right. First of all, I'm at the point where I'm not even sitting with an album unless I'm like, this shit better be Drake, Kendrick, 21,
right,
Lil Baby. It's for certain niggas, I'm listening to the album. Certain niggas, I honestly feel terrible doing this or saying this.
It's real.
But there's certain niggas, I'm giving them the 20-second skip. Do I like this enough to
stay here?
I agree with that.
fucked up because I want the game to not be that.
Right.
But I catch myself like, it's even worse when you just on the phone speaker like, nah.
Next.
So it's like, when you do that, you know you done fucked up. Like,
I ain't gonna hold you. I listen to albums like Funkmaster Flex, right?
That's what I just did.
I'm just gonna let it play. I'll let it play. But if I hear
The
something,
whole album.
run it back. Run it back. I will hit rewind on that song 80 times
thing is,
and drop imaginary
if you
bombs in my.
See, like with me, it depends where I'm at. Like if I'm in the crib, I'll just let it play.
Yeah.
If I'm like walking around on the train, I might just like jump to random ass songs. But like if I'm in the house and I'm sitting there, I'm focusing, then it's like, all right, I got the time, to just really digest it and just let it run. But if I'm I'm out, I'll just like press random shit and see like
no,
maybe I
because
like
there's
something.
he's right too. They're all right. There's some albums that you could run it through, but then you hear a track and you got to run it back 80 times before you go to the next one. You're like, wait a minute,
if there's
I'm
one of
stuck
those
on
tracks,
this one.
I'll at least run it back once. But I know it's like,
there's more.
I know how I feel because I've gotten like, obviously between the artists I work with and Cole, like they value my input on like sequence. Like, you know what I mean? Like Kaz always makes fun of me like, yo, I need you to sequencer. Like just because I love like trying to put the piece to the puzzle together. So I know how much work goes into it.
Right.
So it's like, if I get a Kendrick album, I know there's a reason why these records are in this order.
There's a story being told.
So I'm like, I'm gonna respect it. You know what I mean? If I get a Drake album, same thing. I'm a huge YoungBoy fan. If I get a YoungBoy album, I might know like, yo, these are just joints. So I can hear it different.
Right.
So it depends on the artist. You know what I mean? Like, if you get certain people, you just know you have to see the whole package. Certain people are giving you just incredible music.
Yeah.
So it depends who it is. If it's somebody with just incredible music, when I do find that song, I'm running it up. You know what I mean?
That's how I listen to
But like,
Thug's
you
album.
can't listen
That's
to
how I listen to Thug's album.
Yeah.
That's how I listen to Khaled's album. That's how.
I was out here, nigga. I was picking shit. I was like, yeah,
but
this
like,
one.
Once I got to that Baby and Dirk record, I'm like, yep, this the one.
But see, I'm a Thug fan, so I could run
Me
it all
too.
through.
I love yo.
But I won't run it back. I'll just run it all through and then start running back. But like for Cole's album, I couldn't get past like the first 3 songs for a while.
And also, but you gotta think it's the moment that's being created, right? So even that, when we talking about that, like, there's only but few artists I'm gonna make sure I'm there at midnight.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
And
Like
Cole's
a
one of those
sneaker
guys.
like Savage Mode 2, I was there at midnight.
Same.
Cause I was like, I want to hear, and then that's another one. You can't listen to that out of order. You got fucking Morgan Freeman telling you something. Like, you gotta listen to it as a body.
I'm a blog era dude, bro. So like, anybody from that era, if they dropping something on that Friday, I'm there.
And I remember like when
Travis
To
Scott,
Pimp a Butterfly dropped,
Kendrick.
we were on tour, and it's like we all got off the stage and went to the tour bus, and we all just listened to it. Like, it had just dropped, but it's like when you can create that moment with people, it's like you want to hear it as a whole. And then from there, you could be like, all right, I really like this. I was cool.
I'm gonna go back to that one.
I'm gonna save this one. You know what I mean? But certain artists, you could just be like, yo, whatever song I like, you know, like certain artists, they drop an album. I might be like, I'm going to that feature first.
Yeah.
I know, I don't trust that solo record just yet.
So
I did that with the Couch album.
so sad.
I went straight to the J and Nas record.
I went right to Sorry Not Sorry. I'm like, fuck all this other shit. Fuck all this other shit that he talking about.
I'm telling you, because
Bro, why is the world like
it's
this?
all the shit that I tell people I hate when they do. But I know I do. But you know, it's like, it is what it is. Like certain, but also because I also feel like certain artists don't care for that.
Right.
They don't care for like the sequence. Not that they don't care, but it's not.
It hasn't been a learned technique on their part
No,
yet.
exactly.
It's not made that
Also,
way.
certain artists are just good at features. Let's throw that out there. Certain artists are not like, I'm not gonna name no names, but there's certain artists that I
Obviously,
only
you thinking
like.
about somebody.
I'm thinking about a couple.
I don't want to be in this.
Only good at features.
I love everyone. I love everyone.
I'm not saying no names. There's
No names will be said.
There's certain artists that I just like on features. I don't like their solo shit. But if they jump on a feature, I'm like, I know he gonna fuck it up.
With that. So yo, you mentioned Ari Lennox earlier today, and obviously the whole I fuck with the whole Dreamville crew, label, boss, my guy, Kaz, Earth Gang, Jid, they're all great. But Ari Lennox is like, you know, she's on a trajectory where you know she gonna be something special. I mean, what can we expect from her soon, man? I know this.
She hit a wave recording that was like, she's in it right now. That's just incredible. People have seen she was in with Missy. She was in with like Jermaine Dupri, Brian Michael Cox. She was in with, she got in with Pharrell. She got in with like all the right people. For me, it was more important for her to be in a good headspace. You know what I mean? Because I've seen what this game could do to people.
Yeah.
I've seen her go through it. I've seen her get out of it. And I just knew that the music and everything will fall in place better once she's like in a better place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think
She makes feeling music. So
yeah,
she's
but it's
feeling
also
good.
this game is fucking dangerous.
Of course, especially
Hey, if
somebody
you
like
want
her.
me to respond to her Twitter people and her social media, I will do that. She ain't got to worry about
Yeah,
it.
like it gets real. So to me, with her, it was just getting her in the right place. You know, and I'm not taking any credit for that. Like, of course, I flew to like Denver to have a dinner with her because she was going through stuff. Like, but that's because I care about her. Like, you care about family. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
All of our artists, our label, we move like a family. So
Yeah.
it's like I care about.
That's
like,
very
if she never
noticeable
made
too, by the way.
if she never made another song,
That's so sweet.
I still want her to be good as a human. You know what I mean? Like, that's important. So once she started getting that on her own, and she did the work, which I commend her for, the music started becoming even better, and she was just in a better space. So I think for her, like, I can't wait for her next album.
I can't wait.
And it's crazy to me because now she's like entered this space where like she posts pictures and the internet stops. And I'm like,
Yo, I didn't want to say
what the fuck happened?
Listen,
we got
listen.
She's nodding her head over here. She's like, yes.
But I love it because she found it at her pace. Because when we first signed her, she had like, you know, she was not a music industry person. Like, it was a lot of adjustment for her. I remember her being like not wanting to do the things, not really wanting to show who she really was because she was scared like, yo, people not gonna,
they gonna judge
like,
me.
I got, like, she grew up watching
Oh
how
my
like the
God.
Beyonces and the Rihanna move. Well, not Rihanna anymore.
I be
but,
triple
to cut
liking
you
it.
off,
you know what I mean?
Fam.
I'm a
this is-
soon to be married man. Like, listen.
Even if you are
Appreciate
married,
it.
you can still praise and
Listen,
show
you can
respect.
appreciate the glow up. The glow up.
I
is
mean,
nice,
like, I look
definitely.
at her as like my
She's
little
his sister,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, of course.
But I can still be like, yo, she glowed
She was
up. Like,
great.
she, you know, but
Nothing wrong
but
with
it's not
saying
even
she was
glowed up
great.
as like she looked different. Like, she's always looked.
So
It's
why-
the confidence.
But
It's the confidence.
I was about to say, so why would she need? Why
You know
would she
why?
have
It's the
Twitter
confidence.
trolls?
Not the confidence to do this. It's more like I feel like it's just the confidence of being like, you know what? Like, I got
Stepping into who you really are.
I gotta accept that, like, whatever people gonna say, sometimes it's gonna get to me, sometimes not, but I can't let it dictate everything I do. So in the beginning, I remember her not, like, we used to push her, like, yo, you, like, this personality we see, like, you gotta let the world see that. And that's where, like, IG Live is really what helped separate her from everyone else. It built her lane.
The
of,
shit
like,
with her and Guap Dad and all the other
that
artists.
nigga said, "Oh, you
She's
live in an
hella
apartment?"
funny, bro.
That nigga said, "That can never be me."
That can never be me.
And he just hung up on me. And I was like, "Yo, this nigga Guap is a legend." Like, But Ari's not gonna feel away. She know how to joke. She know how to be who she is. So to me, it's like the reason she's gonna be somebody that we'll be talking about for a very long time is because she found a way to craft a lane for her that no one else can live in.
Kind of like Cole did.
Kind of like Cole did. You know what I mean? Like, no one can live in Ari's lane. There's no one out of the new singers that taps into that soul, but also has this side of her that you're like, damn, this is mad relatable. And I'm glad she said it because a lot of people won't say it. You know what I mean? Like, she says things.
There's certain people that drop music and when the time, like, certain artists, when they drop songs and the timeline reacts, the timeline erupts, a certain section of the timeline. There's one thing of getting the timelines of the attention. There's another thing when you drop a song and all the women's are like, doing.
I mean, like, but she's one of those women that they see in the,
They see a lot of themselves in her.
Right.
Exactly.
So they tap into anything she says,
Relatable.
anything she wears, anything she just, vocalizes. So the music is going to speak to that 20 times.
Sure. And that's why we signed her, honestly, because it felt like we were like listening or hearing from someone we grew up with, someone that we like connect with, because like, yo, you remind me of my homegirl, you remind me of my sister, like you remind me of this. So to me, that's like her biggest draw, which is honestly same thing we talk about with Cole, where people are like, that was the draw to Cole. And now it's like, even like, for example, like a song like New Apartment. She has sent me the reference like a year before it came out, and it was like a voice note over like, over the beat. She's like, what do you think? I'm like, yo, I love this. And then when she actually recorded it, like I remember not loving the beat and being on the fence and her being like, no, but girls are gonna love this. Trust me.
Yeah.
Like she'll hit me sometimes where you don't get it. You're a guy. I'm like, Ari, come on, don't do that to me. But
sometimes that's true. Sometimes it's not going to connect to us.
But Ari makes songs that like even my big black ass like bring me up.
But that's reminiscent of the shit that we grew up on.
Yes.
Like that our mothers grew up on. So it's like, I could tap into that. Like I heard that before.
I remember her being like, you don't get it. Like I think girls are gonna relate to it. And even though I didn't agree, again, I had to trust her.
Right.
And I always tell her like, look, I'm because she also had to learn how to like deal with input and advice. Because if I gave her like an input or something I didn't like as much or something could be better, she would take it as like, sometimes like she was taking like, you don't fuck with it, blah, blah. I'm like, nah, like it's just input. But I always just tell her like, this is your album.
Yeah.
I'm only gonna give you input. I'm gonna tell you how I feel. But end of the day, if you tell me, hey bro, I don't care, this is what I want to put on the album, I'm riding. Let's go. You know what I mean? Because this is your shit. Yeah. Like, who am I to tell you how you should express yourself to you? So when she said like, no, people gonna get a new apartment, and it came out, and it's one of those, every time I see on Twitter somebody gets a new apartment or a new house,
playing that record in the background.
I'm like, you were right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing else I could tell you. And I appreciate that. That's one thing I appreciate about like my relationship with the artist. You know what I mean? Like, they allow me to give my input. They allow me to like really be open and candid with them how I feel. Yeah. But I also know it's like I'm not a dictator. You know what I mean?
Like
I'm not gonna be
I've seen how you've moved with your whole clique since day one, and it's never been on some like, I know label heads. Like I know people like that, and I know when there's guys. We know those guys. Yeah, you never struck me as one of those dudes.
But you know why? It's because I didn't come up with the idea of running a label, or I didn't think I was going to be in the music industry. To me, it was just what got me here was passion, right? So Cole is my friend first, but when I hear his music, I'm like, man, this is so fire. I just want to tell you. I want to tell you.
Yeah, and that's how it starts.
That's it. Like that's all I wanted to do is because also there's a certain like stamp in being able to put somebody on some fire.
Exactly.
So I would go to my niggas like, yo, you want to hear?
But see, like that's it. But see, that's why the blog era was so fire.
It was. That's
all we was doing.
That's all it was.
It's like, yo, my nigga, listen to this shit. Exactly. Oh, I got it first. Like you heard this shit from me.
So y'all could have made a lot of money off.
Oh, nigga, I made a
nice amount of money.
But the thing about it was like I made a nice amount of money in the blog era, but like I had a lot of people come to me and be like, yo, we see the outreach. It wasn't about the money.
It was about like, yo,
they were like, you
we trust you.
We trust
because
you with
we
it.
know when you stamp something, it's gonna go.
Yeah.
But see, like with that, I never wanted that entire responsibility with one person.
Right.
Like doing it, just over a course of just like with different
Just
songs,
listening
different
to
albums. Like, I could do that in my sleep. But what he's doing, that's a different kind of dedication.
Yeah.
Discipline, like just sleepless nights,
it was a lot
all
to
that
learn.
shit.
It was a lot to learn, but to me, it's like it started with like, yo, this is my guy.
Yeah.
So I just want him. Like, if I can help his dream come true, cool. I also tell people like, because people asked me this before, like I'm one of 5 kids, so like I grew up. Like, I never really felt like it was about me. You know what I mean? Like, I was cool with other people winning. Like, I would go out like, yo, let's go out to have fun.
Yeah.
And,
So you
I got it.
weren't
Like,
I know your
You weren't
fam,
the
like your
youngest.
fam, your
huh?
fam.
No,
you
I
weren't
was,
the
I was the second youngest.
Yeah.
Because the youngest
Boss was the youngest. Boss the youngest.
Exactly.
So to me, it was like I found joy in other people winning.
Yeah.
If I was able to help, you know what I mean? Because I never cared to be in front of anything. You know what I mean? So with him, that's how I started, and then that grew into like obviously him trusting me, trusting my ear, trusting what I like could bring to the table, and from there, like you just once you have that, like I try to make sure I carried that through with everything I did. So when I work with Ari, when I work with Boz, when I work with Omen, when I work with Lou, it's out of passion. Like they're only on the label because we as a label felt like we're fans of it. Not because it was like,
It was a
that
money
shit-
grab.
That shit got like 2 million views on YouTube
Yeah,
if we
let's-
catch it
let's
now.
snatch 'em up.
You know what I mean? So when you do that, like I always tell them, like my goal is to put y'all in a situation where you could all have like a career and really like make a real living off of it.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna take it as far as you can take it, because then that's on you. You know what I mean? So I think that's why we move like that. You know what I mean? Like that's why I never felt like that label head that was like, I build this. Like,
Yeah,
I'm I'm trying to help your car reach, the final
I'm
destination.
part of a
And then
family.
when
I'm
you
a part of a
see-
family
when
structure.
you see how Cole rolls out, when you see Ari rolls out, when you see a project like Revenge of the Dreamers, that's when you really get a real appreciation for the way that thing is ran. Because
Yeah, nah.
it's all symbiotic. It's all just like, like this is the head of the snake is all going in the same direction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
will say this though, not to take away from that point, but it's like it do be a lot of luck sometimes too, right? 'Cause, like
I know what I'm talking about.
Nothing wrong with some luck.
When I
Nothing
mentioned
wrong with some
earlier
luck.
with Africa, like we thought we was gonna drop the off season in January.
All right, yeah. So tell me about the Rwandan basketball.
Yeah, so like he was always like trying to just get better to see how far he can take it, and he was working. Like he was working with Brickley, then we went back to Carolina. My guy Omar, who again is like family to us, he trains TJ Warren, he trains the Martin twins,
Okay.
trains like Jerome Robinson, Gary Clark Jr., like just a bunch of like
That's cool.
NBA guys, but then also like Carolina
That's what I'm
people,
saying.
and then also like a bunch of like real overseas pros. So he started, he's family because TJ's family to us,
Yep,
whatever.
yep.
So he started training Cole, and they were just like he was pushing him, giving him real NBA workouts every morning. And like once they figured out the schedule, Cole wake up 8:30 in the morning, do that, go shower, come back, go to the studio, whatever. So I think Cole was just always trying to push it. Omar was like, yo, this was first. It first started with last year because they was going to do NBA Africa last year.
Remember
because
that?
of COVID. They stopped it. Omar was like, yo, I know my guy who's kind of running point over there. Like, and what happened is Cole would play with these NBA players, and it was like, yo, you are not, like, you for real.
He held his
Yeah,
own.
yeah.
You for
I would
real.
see
like,
some
and
IG
you care.
videos,
Like,
yeah.
so these dudes would come around. He would ask them like, yo, when people were coming off the screen and they were teaching them like NBA defense and stuff, and he really and Omar seen that, and Omar was like, yo, let me start
me work
putting
it.
the fill out.
Let me do some fine tuning here.
Yeah, so and then also let me start the conversation. Like, yo, what y'all think? Like, honestly, one of the first people that I think even knew other than Brickley that he was working just towards trying to see what he wanted to do was like CJ McCollum.
Oh wow.
Because he works out with Brickley.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like few kind of people kind of like knew a little bit, and Omar had the the plug with NBA Africa. He's like, yo, this is for real. Like, like would you guys be interested? So that's why I say it takes a little bit of luck sometimes because NBA Africa was that shit was set up to go for a few months now, and the album was gonna come out in like January, then in February, then March. It just so happened that it came out and right after that he went to Africa. That's why he never said anything.
I was about to say,
like,
so did you have like rollout plans that did not include going to Rwanda and playing basketball? Or
it was literally everything else you see. Right?
So everything else that was put out was on schedule, on time.
Yes,
This was just an added bonus.
Exactly, but it's like sometimes you know it's like that's God's word. You know what I mean? Like
that's God,
and then like
that's God giving you like a little
exactly.
Here,
and I told him because the thing is, for him it was super important to like not make it look like a publicity stunt.
right.
Because he was like, y'all really like this nigga went to Rwanda, quarantined for 4 days in a small room. You know what I mean? Not a terrible room. It was nice, like king room, but they weren't gonna give him a suite.
It was small.
They weren't gonna give him a suite. They weren't gonna give him any like special treatment.
Right.
Quarantined for 4 days, just to be this for sure the longest he's been away from his family, which I know is an adjustment. Just to be like, he gotta like wear the sweatsuit, the team sweatsuits with the team. He's on the team bus with the team.
This is now?
He's right
He's
now.
there right
He's
now?
learning.
That's where he is.
He's there right now,
His
bro.
album drop?
Yeah. He was there before his album dropped. He got there May 7th. And the album dropped May 14th. So but it's like it's a real adjustment. He's dedicated to like trying to get, and that shit is not easy. Like
Hell no.
he has moments where he's like, fuck, I need to get home. Like, and then you know what I mean? But he knows he gotta stick through. And then also it's like this nigga's playing with real professional players.
Pros from Africa,
People
bro.
that played in the NBA are playing in NBA Africa. And he's like trying to get his footing right. And you know, I look at it like I hit him the first day. I'm like, bro, you had a professional practice. I told him the first week, I was like, every day I see like somebody post, I'm like, bro, this shit don't make no sense.
Like, nigga, what are you doing?
How are you out there? But
Like, why are you not back?
Once I saw like them stat cards that ESPN puts up with the points, rebounds, and stuff, I'm like, yo, he's really
And the
a
thing is,
professional basketball player, bro. That's
I
crazy.
told him, and I've told other people, I've never met anyone with his will. That's what it is. When and it's not about. It's the work that he's willing to put in. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I tell our artists. Like, yo, he's willing to put in the work. Like, he's willing to put in the work that hungry, starving artists is willing to put in.
Right.
And that's what separates, that's what make, like, so is Kendrick.
Yeah.
So is Drake. You know, I know how those guys work. I've been in sessions where I've seen those guys work, and I've had full conversations with those guys about their process. It's like the greatest people, like somebody, I forgot who mentioned it, like Giannis is like the hardest working dude on the Bucks, and it's like, yo, that's what separates people.
And that's why I really dug like the Damian Lillard fucking interview clips, because those are the especially if you was watching through the bubble.
Yeah.
Like as soon as I heard the clip, as soon as he said, yo, this is all I ever want, I'm like, that's from the bubble. I know that clip. Like that's, you know, that's when they made in the play-in tournament and they're going on a run and all this type of stuff. Like the fact that like the whole takeaway from the offseason to me was, what work are you willing to put in when people ain't watching?
Exactly.
Like, what work are you willing to put in to get to your dreams? It's good to have, you know, dreams and goals you want to read and all that type of stuff.
And all that shit,
and it's even cool to work harder when people are watching you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what are you willing to do when nobody's
watching? And that clip at the end of Dame's, the second clip from Dame, when he's like, yo, like that work is put in during the summer. Like, I remember when I first seen that clip and sending it to Cole and Dennis, just having a conversation of like, that's what separates certain people.
Yeah.
And Dame is my guy. Like, you know,
and if you're a hoop fan, you know that like even before that, Dame would put stuff on Instagram making fun
of people
doing like the weird ass like
sure, because in his mind he's like, because in his mind he's like, you're doing this for show.
You're doing it for show. What are you doing when nobody's watching?
And you know, I always, it's funny because I had a whole conversation with Dame about how like personality wise, and I told Cole this, I'm like, they remind me of each other because they stand on like family, they stand on like being stand up dude.
Values.
It's not value. They values. I told Dame, I'm like, y'all values are so similar to me. Like just talking to y'all, and like I appreciate that, and you know what I mean. Like, so to me, it's.
I look at Russell Westbrook like that too.
Same,
for sure.
same.
For sure, like people.
There's certain folks that don't need to win a chip to me where I'm like that.
Yeah, because they're bigger than the game.
Yeah,
like you watch the way Dame move, you watch the way Russ move, you watch, you know, the way Bron move. It's like Kyrie, it's bigger. Move. Yeah, it's bigger than the game. It's like, yo, you're someone that like, you're not just defined by basketball. Like you're like, your family is important to you. You know what I mean? Like I tell people like, I'm obviously a big Bron fan, but it's like Well, I started becoming a Brown fan when he went back to Cleveland. The Miami time,
those are hard years. As a Knicks fan, those are hard years. Yes.
But I tell people like, look at like what we get to see as black men. They're like, this nigga is literally arguably the most famous black guy in the world, and he's like, yo, look at my family.
Yeah.
Look at my kids.
Like
look
we
at my
watching them
wife.
grow up.
Yeah.
Watching that little girl have her own YouTube.
For sure.
The kids be playing
cute.
basketball in high school. Like it's just
And it's like, it's
achievable. Like I mean, we
Yeah.
knew it was achievable before
But
that,
it's-
but
but
it's
it's
dope
different.
to watch a person of his stature
for
put it
sure,
on Front
for
Street
sure.
every day.
And like even like Dame, I sent Dame the Punch in the Clock joint to be like, yo, we use your vocals, blah blah, and I'll never forget it. Cause he was like, first he was like, yo, anything I need, like Cole's, that's my favorite rapper, like blah blah. And then I was like, bet I'm gonna send it to you in the morning. And I sent it, and I remember I didn't hear nothing back. And I was like, yo, just checking. He's like, yo, my fault, bro. I just had my twins. I'm like, oh, my fault, bro. I'm like, I didn't mean that. Like, damn, like
That's music industry shit. Like yo, just following up. Like
yeah,
yo,
I
you
was
saw my
following
email.
up, but I felt like shit because I'm like, damn, this nigga just had his. Like that's like one of the happiest moments of his
Hell
life.
yeah.
And you worried about a track.
I'm worried about the child. I'm like, bro, hit me a month
that.
later, nigga. Like, be a dad, we good. You know what I mean? And I didn't follow up for like another month. And he was like, yo, whatever y'all need, y'all good. But that's the shit that excites me because like, yo, that shows you his character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Certain niggas will be like, hit back like nothing happened, but it's like, nah, nigga, you letting me know like this is important. You know what I mean? So I like, you know, certain people like that, it's like you gotta appreciate it. And that's really where the whole off season about, because he said it, I don't know if it came out in an interview, but he mentioned how like the whole idea of the warm up came from Kobe. Like he would see the work that Kobe, it was like that mentality. Like, you know, it's obviously since then like the quote mama mentality became a big thing, but it's like that's how he looked at it. Like, yo, I gotta put in the work. And it was always about putting in the work. And the off season was him getting back to that because the last two albums, which were incredible, and he put in the work, it was like it wasn't the same pushing yourself to the next level as this was.
To me,
more of a concept.
it wasn't following the sort of timeline of come up, warm up, Friday Night Lights, you know,
all the way up to Force Hill
sideline
Drive.
story.
Because he said it after Force Hill Drive. He told me like, bro, I'm sick of rapping by myself.
Yeah.
Like that was really what it was.
Yeah.
He like, I told everybody everything.
Like KOD and For Your Eyes Only were definitely like third person told
For sure.
stories. Like,
And it was still a lot of him in it.
Yeah.
Like there was moments where because you have to put yourself in it for other people to connect. Because then it just feels fake. So like For Your Eyes Only, there was a lot of him in it. You know what I mean? People, obviously there was like the folding clothes jokes, but it's like, that's
I
where he
love
was.
folding clothes.
That's where he was in
That's
his
the
life.
Watch Nigga anthem, bro.
That's you. That's
Me, that's my life.
that's your life. So
That's my life. I'm
it's
fucking folding clothes.
But
Cole.
that's a reason why his fans are gonna be like, I get to see everything. You know what I mean? In the way you'll give it to me, right? Like he found that crazy balance of like, I'm not gonna give you nothing, but I'm gonna give you something.
Yeah.
Which is like, you know what I mean? It's weird. It's a tough balance to be because once you give somebody too much, then niggas are like,
It's
"Man,
overkill.
nigga, you're not
They're
as
never
cool as I
satisfied.
thought you
Yeah,
was.
it's
Never
too much access.
satisfied, you know?
But this is why you know my point about social media. When we see too much, we become entitled to information, to content,
Yeah.
For sure.
and it's like it kind of just turns you off. You know
I
what
was
mean?
gonna ask, how does he? Because we don't hear much about like with Cole in the media, none of that, right? How does he handle when he is seen somewhere in public? Like, because I know he's chill.
That
Bro,
nigga
we
was
he just
literally-
at a food
Cole,
truck?
That
we see
nigga-
Cole at food trucks, at bus stops.
I seen him at a bar. I think he was with you.
where, at the Barclays.
No, I seen him at a bar in LES in a corner,
Oh yeah.
just chilling. I don't
Yeah,
even know if
like-
he was drinking, and
Nah, I think
and he
he
had
just
his
pulled
hoodie
up on
on,
him, yeah.
and it was just no security. And I was like,
think-
I ain't gonna go up to him. I ain't gonna
I
say
think
nothing.
it was just like I say this, I tell people all the time, his fans, and I think the way he moves,
Respect him.
people respect it so much. Because I've been out with him and like somebody would take a picture of him and his family, and mind you, like, you know, that's his privacy.
Right.
And he would just go up to them like, yo, my man, you mind deleting that real quick? And they'll be like, oh yeah, my fault.
So like he'll see it.
Oh, he sees it before any of us see it.
Wow.
You know, him and his security.
Yeah,
Elijah's the GOAT security ever. So he sees everything. But he'll see it and be like, yo, or like, he just sees everything because in his mind is like, yo, this is my private life. I want to keep my family private. I don't want, you know what I mean? I don't want to have them go through whatever it is.
Yeah.
But people respect it.
I'm telling you, I see
Instead of being a
y'all.
dick
And I
about
was
it.
You know
like,
what? I
I ain't
think
even
that-
gonna go up to him. He looked like he's just chilling. He had his hoodie on. He was just in the corner. I was like, that's J. Cole, but I ain't gonna say nothing.
No, but you know
I
what?
just sat across the bar and drink my drink.
It just goes to like you just respecting his privacy, right?
Yeah.
And to me, it goes how you move. If you move around and you got 30 niggas, security everywhere, chains on, then I want to fuck with you.
Yeah.
I want to be like, yo, nigga, you came out to be seen.
I want to fuck with you. Like, yeah, nigga, you think I wouldn't sit down?
Why you say it like that? I'm gonna fuck with you now.
No, that makes sense. It's like, bro, if I'm dressed in my sweats and my bummy wear and I got my hood on, I'm not really trying to be seen. I'm trying to have dinner. I'm trying to drink with my man. But if
I
I
also
got
feel
like
like those type of
20
people
niggas tailing me and I got bottles on the table and it's like I'm in the corner, like, yeah, I'm here to
But
be
I was also
fucked.
gonna say they go to different places though. Like this was a random dingy bar.
Because for that it was,
and I was like,
and I think I remember was it a
it's a whiskey
was
bar.
it Hair of the Dog or whatever?
No, it was around the corner. It was a whiskey bar.
Okay.
And y'all was sitting in the corner, and I had just gotten out of
Why do
work.
I know?
It was right around there.
The fact that
It
you
was
say
right
the
at
fact that you
see
know
the
that
wall?
spot.
Because you know what it is?
It's that area, though.
We some LES niggas when we would link up. But what it is like,
Yes.
you know, it got to a point with Cole, like, obviously he can't just link up with us.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
But like if he know like me, Boz, my man Sam, Ted, Mark, we all having drinks, he like, damn, I just want to see my niggas.
Whiskey
Yeah.
Wars,
So
I think it was.
That's what it was called?
Yeah, it's an LES. It's on.
Rosie
it's
is
on,
bartender
It's on
at
Essex. I
every
got out of work. No, I just got out of work and I went to have a drink, and it was me and my coworkers, and they're like, "Yo, I think that's J. Cole." In the
Probably,
corner.
I mean.
And I looked over and it was him and you. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure because I was
yeah.
just two. It was just two of y'all. In the corner, just
that's what
sipping.
it
And I
was. Like,
I was like, I can't go over there. I'm not
Sometimes
doing
it's
that.
like he just want to like connect with people, and I think because of the way he moves, his fans respect that. You know what I mean? They'll be like, "Yo, you know what? Cool." Like,
It was just a story to tell. I saw J. Cole last night.
but it's niggas that are moving away where it's like, nigga, you want me to ask you for a picture?
Yeah, I mean, we all know rappers that go out to be seen.
Now, like, now I don't even want to ask you.
And
Like,
that's
now
what
you
I'm saying.
moving
They
too
don't go
funny.
to a place like that. They go to a place where it's like
Yeah,
everyone's
it's a
like,
show.
"Oh my
It's a
god,
show.
GCU's here!" Like, nah,
So-
that place was chill.
So I think that's how he keeps his private life private, because he really is private. You know what I mean? Like, and
What was you doing at Hair of the Dog?
you know why?
He literally
Because
just say he an LES nigga.
That-
Why
but that's
wouldn't he
like
be
a-
there?
but
I used
that's
to- I
like
used
a
to
down
stay
the
like-
hatch,
I used
like
to
a
stay right over
$2
there.
I fucked
shot.
with down the hatch.
because it'll be like it'll be like a Wednesday where like you know
Half
ain't
off
nothing
wings.
open.
Were
you playing
My
beer
homies
pong?
like it's
Like-
like we would go hookah.
That's like a
something, homies
wild,
we
like
wanna go get a
college,
drink.
like bro bar.
I used to work for
Now,
that
see, like, all right,
same
see, now
DJ.
you talking my language.
Yes.
With the hookah
Where?
shit. So, like,
All of
I spend a lot of time in LES. There's a spot called Sahara East on First.
Yeah, I know. I go to, but I go to Horace.
You like Horace?
He's like, go to Sahara
You really
Hey,
was.
let me tell you this. So you know, my family's from Sudan. So
Yeah.
ever since I was young, like before hookah became a thing,
Yeah.
Hookah
like
was
in
a
our
thing.
culture, it was a thing.
Yeah.
So like when I was like
Shisha.
younger, shisha.
Yeah.
So when I was younger, like my sister, like I would go with them. I remember because I like when we was in college. Like Cole would come with me like, what the fuck is this shit y'all niggas smoking? But he's like, I fuck with it, like you know what I mean. And so Sahara East was one of the first spots. Before that, it was
Sahara East was the first spot in New York City.
Before that, it was. But
Yeah.
before that, there was a low-key spot we used to go to, which was, you know where like Sutra is? Around the corner.
Is it the
first
horse?
side.
We're talking
No.
about, we're talking about
It's not
Sutra and
Karma.
horse.
Is it Karma?
No. But we went to Karma too. Cole
Midtown
used to
East?
like get into
Is it like-
bounce
no,
Is it
houses.
Midtown East or Lower East Side?
No,
No,
but you know the
it's
Sutra,
around the corner from
LES,
South
or right
Yeah.
on one first. You know where 1 and 1 is? Or
Yeah. I know.
So around the corner, there used to be a spot where they used to have like rugs.
And you
sit on
walk
the
down
floor.
steps. You walk down the steps like it's like kind of underground.
No, not that one. That's
you know,
Karma, I think.
That's
Karma.
Yeah,
Karma.
okay.
Yeah.
There's one that was literally around. It was small. It wasn't a club. It was like
It was
so
just a
that's where we used to
hookah
go.
bar.
And the Sahara East was the other one.
Yeah.
But then like I got my man at Horace that just takes care of me. I'll be like, yo, I'm pulling up.
And that's
That's like
that's
that's
the way to
Sahara
say
East.
it. Like,
So I
nigga,
gotta-
like,
I done definitely seen this nigga at Pergola smoking hookah on the regular.
We done burn Pergola down. Many times.
There was a time like right before pandemic hit, like because the Apple offices were right on like 14th.
Yep, I remember.
So I would go up there, like I would go to happy hour after like I finished my show like at 5 o'clock. So I would stay in there till like 10. And that's how I met some of the niggas that I fuck with in Sahara, because they would be in there chilling and we just got cool one day.
Yeah.
And we would see each other every day. So I'd be in there in the corner just smoking that shit by myself. And then like this whole community of hookah motherfuckers. Just,
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah.
hold on. We gotta kill the hookah question right now.
Why?
Do you inhale or nah?
You don't inhale.
I don't inhale.
You're not supposed to.
You don't
So
inhale.
only
hookah.
Dominicans inhale?
You inhale.
Yes.
By the way, Dominicans up top.
Yeah,
that's different.
the hookah uptown is
Yo,
not
I seen 5 hookahs per block last night.
I think niggas eat the hookah.
They was
I don't know what
that shit in the car
on the
uptown,
floor. They had speakers on the car. Yo, yesterday was controller summer.
No, bro.
One day.
No,
You
don't
are
inhale.
not supposed to. It's like
We
a cigar.
inhale. That's why we
It's
get
like a cigar. It's like a cigar.
Not supposed to inhale
Dominicans,
it.
do not inhale. Stop inhaling that
if
shit.
anybody is inhaling hookah,
Everybody
do not
does.
smoke with me.
The
my
Dominicans
nigga.
uptown, do what you do, because y'all niggas
about to say,
different.
this
Thank
is
you.
Dominican
Thank
Don't
you,
uptown.
smoke with me if you inhaling that shit.
We're gonna
You're
inhale.
not supposed
and
to
that's
inhale
why it ends
hookah.
early for us. We're like, oh, we feel nauseous.
Yo, I smoked that shit.
Shit.
I smoked that shit for
Feel good.
4 hours,
We be
bro.
like, how
I am not
motherfuckers do
inhaling.
this? So what's the point?
But even in LA, like I got
so
3
hot.
spots right by me, right? Especially during the pandemic.
Yeah.
It's like if it's 3 in the afternoon, 2 in the afternoon, I put my son down for a nap.
Yeah.
And I'm like, gotta answer emails and call. I go, get my little laptop, get my hookah, do my work. It's just, to me, it's like, it just, the only place I don't smoke hookah is probably Atlanta, because in the clubs, that shit be hot as fuck and it's just smoke
yeah,
everywhere.
it's a
I'm
little-
like, yo.
it's a little
I heard the
different.
hookah.
It's a little
the
different.
The hookah had the vaccine in it.
Yeah.
All my niggas in Atlanta was like, nah, the hookah got it.
Everybody I
If
know
you
in
don't
LA.
inhale-
This is what I was trying to
Shout
tell
out-
you for the last year and a half.
Shout out
Nigga,
my
that's
nigga
why I
Barry.
didn't catch it,
But
because I
if
was
you don't
smoking hookah
inhale,
every
how'd
day.
you get it?
Shout
How'd
out
you
my
get the
nigga Barry.
vaccine?
Shout out my nigga Barry, the mayor of Atlanta. That's my guy. He manages Jid, Irv Gang, a bunch of other people. He used to always be like, nigga, it's in the hookah, nigga. Don't worry about it. Just come out here. I'm like,
You
nah,
been,
nah.
you been in
Every nigga I know
sativas?
in Atlanta was super
It's in
straight.
Atlanta. I think I'm saying it right. Fuck.
What spot is it?
Sativa?
Sativa.
I like high.
The name of the place is
Yeah, hold on.
Atlanta?
Yeah, hold on. Keep going.
In Atlanta, it's just different.
It
I
was
love
different.
Atlanta.
The whole pandemic was different in Atlanta.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
There was no
I
pandemic in
definitely
Atlanta.
Have FOMO. I would see on my
Yo.
IG niggas in the club, and I'm like, man, bro, that shit look mad
Like,
fun.
the older than
Sivas.
it
That's what called Sivas. Sivas.
I'm not-
Sivas is like a really,
Yo,
really dope
me and
ass
Cass
spot.
was like, I don't know.
Yo,
We
dead
might get
ass.
low weekend in Atlanta.
Bro, I'm not gonna hold
How
you.
we gonna get there? Let's drive. Fuck
When I
it.
went to Atlanta to do the Apple Music shit,
Yeah.
my man Don't Hate Travel on Twitter, he took me out to this hookah spot.
Yeah.
Bro, I walked in there with a mask. Niggas looked at me
Crazy.
like,
Bro.
take that shit
Crazy.
off, bro.
When we went,
Take this shit off.
They're like, oh,
we
he's
went
not
to
from here.
21.
Yeah.
We went to 21 before we pulled up to the studio. We was like, yo, let's go get food. And we pull up to the spot, and it's just the food spot, mind you, everywhere we at, like, you know, it's kind of like you only eat outside or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
It was so many people there and outside. Niggas was like, nah, like, yo, we called
order that
in
in.
the order.
y'all
Somebody
pulled
went and
up?
got it. We took it to the studio because we was like, yo, we haven't seen each other in a while. Like me, Cole,
Yeah.
Mike, RJ was like, let's go get some food. We was like, nah, this shit is and nobody had on a mask.
Wow.
Like, nah.
Bro, I went to that spot. I'm like, oh, I missed this.
Bruh.
I missed
Yeah.
this.
You know
Like,
what,
the
I
music
say-
was
I say
loud. The
this. I
hookahs,
say
there was
this,
chicks
New York.
around. I'm like,
I say this, New York, I feel like it's gonna have such an ill scene,
It's gonna be
such
like
an
the
ill
Roaring
comeback
20s,
oh, this
bro.
summer?
Roaring
after
20s.
this summer because all the imports left,
Yeah.
and now you got to build something new because
Listen, I'm in the process of closing a home, and I know just how affordable like property is in New York City. By 2022, I mean, this summer's already gonna
gonna go
already gonna
crazy.
be
Yeah.
biblical. You know what I mean?
Y'all should have
But
been
by
uptown
2022
last night.
Listen,
nah, that's different.
Nah, yeah. I'm
was crazy.
I'm talking vibes different.
I was just
Yo,
walking
the
to the
LES
corner
vibe, the
store.
LES vibe is good for me.
I was just
I'm
walking
cool
to
with
the
that.
bodega.
Uptown,
Uptown's a little
it get a little
different.
funky.
I was just
Yeah,
walking
cool.
to the bodega, guys,
Yeah.
and I went through 8 different parties. I was like,
Really?
Yeah, I'm cool.
Yes.
Niggas
I knew it was different last night though, because I got here so late, but I pulled up because Jid was in town and was like, yo, let's go. Everybody was like, let's go eat. So I pulled
out
up on him
Jid.
at that's my guy. He's working on the
He's
classic.
great. Love
He's-
him.
We pulled up at they was at Julan, and by the time
Oh,
I
y'all
walked,
went to Julan?
by the time I walked
Shit.
outside, but I was there for like 15 minutes
Right.
before they was like, yo,
Oh
it's
damn!
closed.
My dude Cook. Yeah.
But by the time I walked outside, it was like 4 cars and like 20 people playing music, but they were still dancing in the
Outside,
street.
yeah.
And I was like, niggas is hungry.
Oh,
it
nigga,
is-
listen.
You don't understand.
I wish I had a video of
I
that.
know you was in LA during like the meat of the pandemic, but we was locked down, locked down.
No.
bro.
LA
Nah,
was
we
locked
didn't
down
know.
too, though.
No,
Y'all was locked down for a little bit.
We-
Like,
yeah,
I
But
said-
like
delivery.
locked down with nice weather is
yeah,
different.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Like,
yeah.
y'all had weather, y'all could like go out to your porch, go out to the front door and be
Go
all
to the
right.
beach,
We
drive
was
to the
going
beach.
outside to just misery for months. For months, bro.
we wasn't even going outside. outside. We was getting delivered food.
Nigga,
Staying
Uber
in the
Eats
crib.
and Clubhouse.
I bought my
Making
hookah. I bought a
videos.
portable hookah in the crib. I was smoking that shit, having liquor delivered to the crib, cooking. Like we could not move.
Yeah, that's
bro.
crazy.
We could
So we really like.
That's why I think this summer's gonna be
like cage
this shit
animals.
is going to be epic.
I'm gonna take a video tonight.
DJ Moma, that's my older brother.
Everyday people?
So he's like, they waiting. They're like, yeah, we're gonna do like he coming to
What's
LA.
your family reunions like, bro? Between you,
I mean, we don't really have
Amin,
Yeah.
Boss,
we don't really have
Moma.
family reunions, I guess, but we just get together.
When
like,
y'all get together, it's
That's
gotta
a
be.
reunion.
it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy. Like
I
Moma,
feel like everybody in your family is touching
lit.
some part of some
and
lit
it's,
shit.
it's funny because it wasn't like it wasn't planned. You know what I mean? It wasn't like even Boss, the fact that he's a rapper and he's successful and he does what he does. He didn't start rapping until he was like 20 or 20. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like not to like I think his fans, a couple people know about it. Like, you know, he had an incident where like niggas
I know.
just started shooing at him and all this shit. And he was like, hold up, I gotta change my lifestyle. And he kind of like started rapping and he just picked it up so quick. And like Moma, like Moma's was incredibly successful electrical engineer. He like electrical engineered the whole fucking 4040.
No shit.
Yeah, like he's
think they
that.
look alike.
But then out of nowhere he was like,
brother. I didn't know that was your brother, so I'm like,
oh, you trying to look at the picture?
She's doing like the face.
the
We don't
side
look
by
alike.
No, y'all do.
Same mother, same father.
Yeah.
Y'all do look alike. I never knew that.
Just wait till after.
I'm sorry.
till after.
He was talking about.
I was like,
had to do the
wait,
side by
what
side.
happened? Did I
What
do
is she
something wrong?
doing?
I had to do the side by side before you leave because I was like, I didn't
That's
know
the
that.
chemistry I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yo, like, wait, she always does
You
the
can do
most
that
random
though.
shit, but
and
we love it.
It causes a whole
You let
different.
Rosie be
I just
Rosie,
looked at
bro.
him like, why are you holding your phone to this nigga?
I thought like, wait a
I
minute,
was
she taking a
thinking of
picture?
no,
Should I
no.
pose?
I'm like,
I
yo,
never-
Ed is the photographer.
Because he kept
We got
saying
professional
that. He kept saying that. He was like, my little brother, I was like, hold on, let me look.
Oh my God, Rosie.
Yeah.
We gonna get to your concussion in a bit.
I
I
was
need to
like,
hear
about
it.
it.
I'm here. I'm chilling.
No.
This is great.
I'm still
But
concussed.
yeah, what's it called? So even Moment, like I remember when he was like, I'm gonna learn how to DJ. You know what I mean? And I remember him like in the house with the turntables in the basement learning. But it wasn't like at the time you couldn't just DJ to DJ.
Right.
Like you had to learn transitions.
Yeah.
Like
It's not like that
me-
no more.
That's how me and Bosh used to get in the clubs at a young age. We used to carry his crates. You know what I mean? Like we used to literally
Crates.
carry crates.
No shit.
Exactly.
That's when he started.
Exactly. He started with crates, and then I remember him, you know, watching him take off. And now my brother Proof, who used to rap, but like then he ended up going to Sudan and cultivating this whole like Sudanese rap like culture that
Yeah.
I didn't even know existed. And now it's like a whole thing growing in Sudan. These kids that are like literally, one lives in like I think the dude G Salih lives in like DC or Virginia area. There's a dude Keys. I don't even know where he lives. My guy Ease, the bully, he's like in London, but they're all Sudanese. And they started cultivating this, and it's like to me, it was like none of this was planned. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's
I
never
just knew
planned,
Cole
but-
from school.
Yeah.
I even remember my dad like, and that's why it was always dope because you know like first generation.
You got African
African
Trust me, I
parents,
get
they
it.
looking at you like, nigga, what is you doing?
Fuck is you doing?
But my
You're not-
dad
you're
was
not
one of
going
those.
to
that was
graduate
like-
school, you're not
my
gonna be
dad
a
was one of
lawyer.
those. I was like, I don't know if I believe in this, but I gotta trust my kids.
Yeah.
And I remember when he came to the garden show and Boss was opening up, he's like, yeah, I was right. Like, that was it. And I was like, that was the validation needed. Like,
No, but it's like, yo,
There's
even
nothing like winning over African parents.
Yo, it's hard as
bro.
fuck.
But it's like,
it
even
wasn't-
like,
my
even
mom was
like-
about it because my mom's the life of the party. She was like, yeah, just, you know.
My mom was cool up until a minute. Like, this is cool, but like, you go back to school, right? Like, and once she saw me on MTV, she was like,
She's like, hold up, you understand, exactly.
No, but it's like even like with the creatives, like even like I started my blog in my mother's basement.
Yeah.
And they like, what the fuck are you doing down there at 3:00 in the morning banging on this keyboard?
Yeah.
And then when I got hired at BET, they was like, oh, okay, we kind of
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
That it was like, okay, now you running on stage drinking liquor. what the fuck is this about?
Explain.
So then when I bought them the Hammerstein, they was like, oh, this is what you was doing this whole time.
That's like the best
Still
part.
running on
Like,
stage drinking liquor.
like this is, and like you just see pictures of you holding the bottles of Hennessy. Like, what are you doing? Like, and why are you not
Nigga,
getting
who
from
are
drinking?
you?
Yeah, like why do people call you low key? And I'm just like, listen, guys, listen. I'm not in jail, so that's all you got to worry about. I don't got nobody
Exactly.
pregnant. That's all you got to worry about.
And that was like that's the ill part. So I think to answer that question is like it just started kind of snowballing. You know what I mean? It really started with my sister. She's the oldest one, and she was the one that like putting us on the music. Mo, like when I was young, I shared a room with Mo, so it was like back then. I'll never forget. He used to. Every Tuesday would get every rap album that came out because at the time it was like
that was Tuesday. Yeah, that
it
was the thing.
You didn't get that many of them. You know what I mean? So that's how I learned. Like I learned through that. So it is cool. Like people always tell us like, yo, y'all family's lit, and in my mind I'm like, you don't really enjoy it while you're in the moment.
Well, once
You're gonna
step
look
back,
back.
Once you step back, you're gonna be like, damn, like we all.
I'm like low key like recognizing it like at this moment. Like I in a weird way, like I'm cool with you, cool with Amin, cool with Boss. I'm just like, God damn.
Yeah, the Amin, like Amin.
That's a lit ass family.
I remember
When's the
when
barbecue?
I remember when Amin was like, you know, in college trying to do the NBA thing,
Yeah.
and getting into the front offices, and then leaving. When I was like seeing him on ESPN, I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Just crazy.
Why is this nigga talking shit on ESPN? He went on a wild rant last night.
Yes.
On the
On Lebitard.
no on Twitter because he's got his own beef going with the Kings and the whole De'Aaron Fox, John Morant. That's on him. I got love for De'Aaron Fox. I'm a huge fan. Shout out John Morant on his Grizzly.
Right,
I don't want
right.
no parts of that. But Amin is like a whole like
he's made a whole like the fact that he's not just been a front office success, a TV success, believes ESPN, broke out with this Meadowlark, you know, Dan Lebitard sort of like pirate ship of like the ESPN cast-offs that are like, oh man, like this is where it's like super lit over here. Like it's crazy.
you know why though? It's because it's a talent in being able to be yourself at all times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part.
Especially
That's
in
a
sports.
very hard part.
Especially in sports.
Especially when that mic come on.
Yes.
And you're like, you know, like even now, like I'm having fun because I feel comfortable. So it's like I can be myself.
This ain't one of those situations where it's like you got to tailor the answers, you got to tailor the
So
conversation.
me, somehow is always like
He's
that.
always like
So it's like I don't know how he
Come on,
does it.
flicker too. I'm like, yo, is there anything you want us to edit? He's like, nah, nigga, go ahead.
I'm like, bro, you a wild boy. Like, but that's why people can't turn away.
Yes.
Like you can't turn
absolutely.
away from seeing somebody that's like,
Man, it's crazy, bro.
People like that, you know what you're getting though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
You
frustrating.
don't know what you're getting, but you know what you're getting.
That's,
Yeah.
it's
Front
a,
Street.
It's a talent that a lot of people are starting to figure out now because like audio and podcasting has gotten so big.
Fact.
Where it's like it's not so much about like how good the show is, but like do I buy into you as a person? Do I fuck with you?
But see, what I say, and that's the dangerous thing that's happening because it's like people aren't really selling themselves. They're selling what people think they want to see.
Some people are.
I mean, I'm not saying all.
What they think people
Yeah,
want
like
to see?
you look on Twitter and you look at these conversations, right? And like you see what like triggers people or what keeps
And
the
you-
conversation.
and you start
So you
that,
cater
yeah.
into that. So it's like you probably not like that all the
I
time.
know somebody
you
like
probably
that.
not talking like that all the time.
We
So
all know
if-
somebody like that.
once your conversation or your format is only, or your music or whatever it is catered to what people are saying on Twitter, is the beginning of the end. You know what I mean?
because
That's
that
how I
conversation is gonna shift, and it's gonna be some things you don't know how to talk.
Yeah, and also everybody's doing that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that's the go-to thing. Like we all gonna talk about what's happening in the current events. So to me, it's like that's what separates a great podcast from like a podcast you could just be like, all right, I get what this is.
Yeah.
Nah, this is a fun conversation. I think how much time we got? 10 minutes? 10 minutes? We gonna pop
Yeah,
for
we
10
gotta-
quick minutes real quick. All right,
gotta get on this
Dang,
one.
I'm
You gonna
here.
run with us real quick?
I'm here.
All right, Rosie.
What we
Let's
talking?
say, Rosie.
All right, Rosie. So
All eyes on me.
Had a little girls trip this week.
We weren't-
We had a big girl strip.
Shout
didn't
out,
record.
shout out Watch Jazzy.
Yeah, shout out
happy
Watch
birthday. Happy birthday.
So we didn't
Jazzy.
record. We didn't record last week.
Man, if I'll die for my friend was a person,
You got a concussion? I see your eye is bloodshot.
you see it right here?
Wait, look that way. Look at the camera and look that way.
right there, right there.
Look
Look.
actually right over
Hurt
here.
myself.
No,
Oh,
no,
wow.
we-
So
we
what?
try to come-
What the fuck happened?
Take
to
us
you
through the
this
process.
weekend?
Take us through
Happened.
the play-by-play.
Are you okay though?
I don't want to go there. Please
Bro,
don't
she
make me
called me
go
on
there.
FaceTime the other day. Bro, she looked like
I
she
guess I gotta
was going.
go there.
Bro,
I was like,
on
did
the
you
call.
just fight Ronda
She
Rousey?
looked like she was right. I was like, what the fuck? What was you doing?
I'm so
I like-
interested in
I
hearing
like-
that.
Tell the story. Tell the story.
Bro, there's when you mix a lot of alcohol,
Yes.
and not a lot of food,
Oof.
and Miami sun at 90 degrees
Oof.
all day.
Yeah.
And
And then-
inhaling hookah.
Yeah.
The Dominican way.
This how Dominicans smoke
She was on
hookah.
She was on that boat inhaling that shit, falling out of hot tub.
Dominican way. Yeah.
I was out there celebrating my good friend Jazzy's birthday, and it's funny because she talked me up like, don't try to drink like Rosie because she could drink, which is a fact.
This is a fact.
We know. Yeah, you're
However,
you're one of those.
The girls that met me there don't think that because I got fucked up. And apparently, I tried to get out the hot tub, which was already an above ground hot tub.
Okay.
And then it was extra elevated because it has steps to get up there.
Okay.
All right, so I'm fucked up in the hot tub. And I felt myself falling asleep. This is the last thing I remember.
In the hot tub?
This is the last I remember for like the 5 days that I was there.
Whoa.
I felt myself falling asleep in the hot tub. And I remember just getting up. And they said I got up and I sat on the tub and I went back.
Oh, God.
That's not the fucked up part. They said I fell backwards, but somehow landed like face planted. And I was like trying to explain. I was like, well, maybe, like the athlete in me was like,
she probably felt back. She tried to twist.
Yes, I was like, the athlete in me was probably like, I want to see where I'm going and try to stop myself. But none of that.
Like, nah, I was straight.
I straight face planted. The fucked up part was like, yo, you landed like an outline. They was like, you landed like a chalkboard outline, like a dead person like this. And it's funny now because I'm alive, but I was unconscious.
It's funny because I'm
I saw the FaceTimes, I saw the screen grabs. I'm like, yo, are you good? You did not look bad, good. Though. You look like somebody fought you.
Wait, you really had a concussion?
Mm-hmm. I was unconscious for like 5 minutes.
Did they think you died or something?
They were like, they did what all black people do. They was like, hey, make sure she respond. Like, let's get her up. Let's shower her. No, they said it was so bad that they were scared to move me.
Oh,
really?
Damn.
Yeah, so they were like, I was unconscious. I was just like this. I was just like this.
How far was that start of the hot tub to the floor?
So it was probably like about like
Empire State Building to the floor the way she fucking got hit. Like, Jesus
the way
Christ.
I mean, think about it, it's dead weight too.
Like
Like
a
I hit it
Wile E.
like
Coyote. Like,
Yeah.
when I was standing at the hot tub, it would be like right here to me.
wow.
So it was a high hot tub, right?
Okay.
But
That's about 4 or 5 feet fall into your face. That's a deep dip.
yeah, and I probably went head first.
Yeah, you definitely want to have.
So then they did what
saw your eye.
What
Your
all
eye was
black
like-
Spanish people do, like we're not calling the ambulance, right? Like let's just
Right.
figure this out until we gotta call them. So they woke me up
Until that
somehow.
pulse is done.
But they were trying to wake me up. So guess what my friend from DC does?
What?
She was like, I wasn't responding. She was like, all right, guys, I got this. If she don't respond to this, she's dead.
These niggas playing games with your life. If she don't respond to this,
No,
then it's a
It's a bunch of drunk people.
Yeah, like, nigga, get her
Like,
up.
niggas is drunk.
Yo, you
Get
know
her
what
up.
this bitch said? She goes, whoop-dee, bitch, I'm outside as a movie.
Did you respond though?
She said I smirked and I tried to put my leg up. They're like, she's alive! She's alive! She was like, that's it, she's alive. And they somehow took 6 people to drag me in the
This is a
house.
message to any of my friends. If y'all ever see me concussed and you try to sing Swag Surf to get me to read I'm gonna slap the shit out of everybody.
You know you gonna
I
get up
swear.
though. You know you gonna get up. Oh shit, here we go. You ain't gonna be concussed. Oh
We
shit.
would pick you up and do it with
Hold him
you.
up like Ernest goes to
Like
vacation.
picking up Bernie's like, that's what.
Oh, you know you gonna do
Oh,
it.
you know I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna get up.
She said, whoop-dee, bitch, I'm outside of the She's like, you smirked and you tried, but you couldn't get up, but we knew you was alive. She's like, it took 6 of us to carry you in the house. I'm like, how? I'm 140. They're like, it's dead weight. I was like, so did I go to 160? I don't know. Took 6 of them to get me in the house. They showered me. They did some things that I don't want to talk about, like only friends would do.
Wipe your ass.
Wait.
Clean. Yeah.
You shitted yourself?
No. I don't want to get into it. It's mad disgusting, but
Oh, she shitted herself.
let me tell you something. I did not shit myself. I'll tell you what I didn't do.
threw-
Shit myself.
you threw up.
I did
Oh,
not
you
throw
threw-
up.
oh, you threw up.
I did not throw up.
Okay.
What?
Piss
What else?
yourself?
What
It's
else?
just, she don't want to talk
All
about
I know is
Okay.
She like niggas just stop.
I'm not gonna keep guessing.
I mean, you
I
left
can
us
make
with
it
the
real
only.
uncomfortable for y'all.
Man, you ain't making me
You ain't making me
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable. Nigga, I got 3 sisters. So
Anyways,
I
it
done
don't
heard and
matter.
seen a lot of shit.
Jasmine's my friend for life because I
Shout
don't know
out
nobody
Jasmine,
else
yo.
who would have done this shit. But she did it. They showered me,
Oh, that's nice.
put me in the tub. I mean, in the bed, and they were like, they put an alarm to check on me every 15 minutes, just to like
Damn, that's some good friends.
good.
like make sure I was breathing.
Every 15 minutes. is
Every
real.
15 minutes. is
Cause you
real.
know about the third 15 minutes, you're like, damn.
Like, come on, man. Like, all right.
She's fine.
Like, enough of this shit. Like, yo, get up,
go
man.
with a stick.
Go ahead.
If they were real smart, they would have FaceTimed my phone and kept it up and just had a camera.
Right. That's
Wait, time out. Real question.
That's what I would have done.
Did they continue partying after you were
Yes.
concussed?
Of course they did.
I missed the whole lingerie
Would you
dinner.
not? Nigga, would you not?
Listen, I would have
Look
done the
like
same
fun.
for anybody. So that's why they weren't like mad. I would have done the same for anybody.
No, I wouldn't be mad at you.
I
Like,
would have kept partying as well, though. I would have just FaceTime her and just
Making sure, yeah.
That would have been like a little nanny cam.
Man, listen.
You're already in Miami, man. You're like, fuck it.
Exactly.
But they partied in the house. It wasn't like they left.
Oh, okay.
They had a dinner party
they
at the
could check
house.
on you every here and
I don't
there.
know.
Chef Roble was actually our chef, which
Oh,
was
shout
random.
out Chef
Oh, God.
Roby. Good
Yeah, he was in the kitchen like
Chefing up.
Cooking it up.
mad
I
sporadic. I was
definitely
like,
left the house.
Good man.
I
Good
definitely
man.
left the house. Like,
So what-
go ahead, leave her ass on the bed. She'll be all right.
So wait,
Leave her
when did you
face up.
find, when
She'll
did you
be fine.
find out you had a concussion?
You know what's crazy? I didn't know I was concussed all the time because I kept drinking. And then,
Oh my god.
all right, guys,
Nah, that's crazy.
don't judge me.
No, I'm not. I would have probably did the
Actually,
same
judge
thing.
me. I
by
don't give
the
a
way.
fuck. I just kept
I would-
drinking,
yeah, I would've did
right?
the same thing.
By the second day, which is when I FaceTime y'all, the second day after it happened, I woke up and this shit was so swollen and I couldn't feel, like I couldn't even move the
No,
side
you
of my
looked like
face.
somebody punched you.
It was
like,
crazy.
Ronda
Like, I
Rousey,
was
my
like,
nigga.
what the fuck?
I was
And my
like, did somebody
head
hit
was
the ground and
pounding.
pound? Like,
I still kept drinking. I was drunk when I called y'all.
I
was
clearly.
drinking. And then I think by like Monday, which was my last day there, I started like puking. And I couldn't hold anything down.
Yeah, that's not good.
And I hit up
you
all my
was
little athlete
big
friends. I was like,
bugging.
excuse me, when you have a concussion, do you puke? They're like, yes.
Yeah.
They're like, you puke,
Absolutely.
you get a fever, like it's mad shit that happens. And I was like,
I'm surprised you up and at it like
Well,
this.
because I went and got a CAT scan 2 days ago.
Oh, okay.
oh, wow. How'd that go?
He said, you have a post-concussion syndrome. I was like, duh.
Damn.
Now what?
And you out here still potting.
Well, I mean, that was
You're a
3 days
legend.
ago. I'm good.
You were like,
Wow.
Way to push through.
job.
First of all, I was about to be back to Say Less with Kaz and Low, the way my weekend went.
I mean, hey.
Like,
I
we had Eve here, so we was good.
I knew when the group text started getting very minimal. I'm like, I don't know.
I'm like, I don't know if she's pulling up. I did not know she's
nah,
pulling up.
because after I went and got the CAT scan, and like the next day I started feeling better. I was like, okay, the headache's gone. I drank a lot of ginger ale. You'd be proud of me.
Ginger ale, you already
You know what I'm
know.
saying? 'Cause he
Here's
thinks-
everything.
It cures
Eve,
everything.
Hold on.
is this like the new Robitussin?
No, he thinks
This
it fixes
nigga
everything.
got, this
Cured
nigga
my
got
COVID,
COVID, right? This nigga got COVID.
Oh my god, he's in the
you go.
He in
hospital.
the hospital. Nigga selfies himself with a bottle of ginger ale next to him, talking
like,
about,
bro.
oh, I'm gonna just drink this. No, nigga. That's not how you fix this.
Guys, I tested positive. What the fuck is the ginger ale for? It's like, I'm gonna be
I'm
all
like,
right.
nigga, this is not gonna fix this situation.
But I live.
I ain't never heard somebody say ginger ale.
Bro.
Ginger ale cures everything. That shit is medicinal.
You didn't see my friend's screenshot?
Yeah,
Where she was
I
like,
did see it.
eat some crackers and drink some ginger ale. I was
Oh, you
like,
did?
it's a concussion. She was like, oh, God, it don't matter.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
You know,
It
niggas
don't
say,
matter.
oh, God.
That's when you know he believe anything that's going on in front of him. On
He was
God,
like,
I
"Oh,
got
God."
this.
But that's the same one that said whoopty, so I'm questioning her.
Y'all need a ginger ale fucking advertising.
Schweppes Canada Dry,
Schweppes.
whatever y'all fuck with.
Shout out
the
to that right here. He sold me. I'm about to get ginger ale.
But yeah, that was my weekend. A couple nights of mine ended early. I left and I was like, yeah, I don't feel like myself. In retrospect, I was concussed the entire time.
But you're still here though. You made
I'm here.
it.
Now you good, though.
Yeah,
Tough
she-
off
good
town
now.
broad, man.
It's
Not a
fresh.
little bun
Give me
bushy.
that thing.
Look, I started twitching. I'm good.
She's like, yeah.
I'm glad you good.
I
Like,
think so.
nah,
I,
nigga.
I just realized my eye today. I'm like, bro, I was fucked
Yeah,
up.
I just saw the bloodshot when you looked that way. I was like,
This
damn,
way.
you was fucked.
Yo, you trying to go smoke after this?
I inhale, so no.
Wow.
I mean, that's your body. I'm just saying you want to
I'm on beer and wine now. I'll do beer.
Wow, that's
Wine.
that's
Rosie.
something else.
I'm
Rosie.
y'all didn't see
I'm
me
on
take no
beer and
alcohol,
wine
right?
now.
You see how easy that shit is?
You can take the weekend off, right?
You can go home, my
I already
nigga.
had a beer with my mom last night.
You can go home.
No, beer and wine is just the beginning.
It's just the
That's the
beginning.
That's the
It's a
gateway.
segue.
That's the gateway.
By 2 a.m.
Yo,
Like,
I'ma
let me
switch
get
it
that
down.
ginger
Yeah.
ale.
I'm dead ass. I'm steering off hard liquor for a little bit. That's okay.
Oh, man.
You see, I didn't drink today.
You didn't. You got
we drunk up
got
all this shit before you got
got
here.
your go cup. Got your water. You're straight.
I'm good. I'm
You
good.
got your name on your cup? That's fine.
Oh, this is from the weekend. I brought
Oh,
it
was
as,
that like the fucking?
that's what
the
Jazzy brought
party
all of
favors?
us, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take it just
That
to
sounded like a
remind
lit
myself
ass
that.
weekend, yo.
It did.
Is there any
It sounded like it was
regret?
mad fun.
Is there any regret that you were
Honestly,
concussed for most of it?
if you got concussed from turning up, that's a lit ass weekend. There's no way
That's
around
all
it.
you need to know.
That's
Like, yo, what happened?
Like how lit? Like how,
Wait, got it? That's me? Oh, yeah,
This is the
that's
picture
fine.
he sent
That's
us from
ginger ale.
the
Oh, yeah,
hospital.
that's when he was in the
And
hospital.
I zoomed in. I was like, Kaz, dog.
this
Listen.
nigga's
There's
wild.
another photo of him going like this, and I was like,
Hey, put
It's
that
ginger ale.
I lived, bro. I fucking lived.
Damn, and
Nah,
he's
but
talking
that's
about
honestly-
y'all don't turn up like us. I got concussed. We turn up too much.
No, we
That's the
no,
highest level.
nigga. You turn up like you.
That's
was
the highest level. When somebody's like, "How lit was the weekend?" Be like, "I got concussed." Be like, "Oh."
if somebody breaks something or get a
Crazy.
concussion, that's how you know like
But I
she
said
got out
that
of
to
hand.
everybody, and everybody was like, everybody thought I was joking because I joke a lot. Everybody was like,
Yeah, I thought you were
"Real?"
joking too
I was like,
until I
nah,
just
dead
saw
ass
your
have a
eye.
concussion.
I also-
Nah, when I saw that eye, I was like, yeah, some shit
I
just
was like,
happened.
this shit still hurt. I'm like, I got
shit, yeah,
concussed.
she didn't win some shit.
Damn.
Damn, man.
Everybody else there was like, damn, bitch, y'all, someone got a concussion at this party.
And I feel bad for the girls that didn't know me because they're probably like, oh, that bitch.
How many girls
that
is there?
drunk? It was like 10 of us, 12 of us.
Okay.
But
It's always weird when you're mixing different groups.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And
Guys, it works better. Though.
Guys don't
like
matter.
Like niggas
know
will be
how
like,
to- we know how to
niggas
do
will be
it.
like, I don't really fuck with that nigga, but it's cool. Girls is a lot of like different
no, they
like.
were all
lot of
cool.
casual-
There's a lot,
But it
there's a
was-
lot of group activities where girls trips. You got to take pictures.
Yeah,
We got to look
gotta
like we know
coordinate.
each other and stuff. Like when niggas go on trips, it's just like I'm only here because I know this motherfucker.
Yeah.
I know the rest.
I might be like, yo, you good, my G? Like,
You trying to-
good? Like,
You good?
Let's go.
I ain't invite this.
Nah, I ain't
It's you, yo.
Nah, yo, come on,
I should go on the guys trip because that's how I am.
Bro, that's
Exactly.
real.
I'd be like, hey, you
Guys
good?
will link up with like, yo, my niggas, yo, me and you for the weekend. Like, we'll go do our own shit. Like, I've been on shit.
So it was like 10 people though.
It was like 10, 12 girls, and I was really cool with like 4 of them. So I think they were the ones that took care of me. And the other
So
girls,
the
I'm like,
other
they
ones-
looking at me crazy.
The
No,
other
you
ones-
I
know.
know they looking at me like that drunk sloppy
Bro,
bitch.
you know
To the other ones, you the girl that
They
got
was making
concussed,
comments like, we
You
don't want to be
know.
Rosy today. I was like, I will
Did you
beat
get
your
any
ass.
sort
No
of?
way.
Did you get any sort of like get back at the end? Do you get any sort of like last sort of? Listen, I'm not the fucked up drunk person. We can still party at the end of the day, or they just you just
Nah.
left
She was
concussed till the
Florida.
end.
I
She
was
said,
concussed till like I got here.
Okay.
I threw up on my flight like 3 times because I couldn't hold anything.
Damn.
Damn,
I made it to the bathroom though.
That's good.
How could you hit a brick?
Are you
the
a
flights got the
Oh,
little
it's
bags
that
anyway.
part of the concussion where you can't hold anything down.
I never been concussed.
And I
So I
kept
don't,
trying to
I
drink
don't know.
water.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
you are the
As an
only one
athlete,
here.
you've never been
only one.
concussed.
I've never been had a
The
concussion.
athlete's never had a
Well,
concussion.
first of all,
That's not.
I'm
He's not an
graceful.
athlete. So that's fine.
I just get concussed like
Yeah,
that.
you can be graceful when you don't play any other
Oh
sport.
my
Wow.
Get him.
Bong, bong, bong. Anyway.
When you get to NBA Africa, then you could talk to me.
Yeah, that's
of, I
crazy.
think his
Calling
game
you.
is
African.
unlimited.
He didn't-
I'm calling out Brickley right now. What time is it in Rwanda right now? Call that motherfucker up.
No, I think he's in a game actually right now.
Oh, he's playing as we speak?
Against the best team too.
I can't believe he's
saw
really
them.
there.
I saw them.
Yeah, he's there.
He's had a couple plays. He got some defensive plays.
Yeah, he got to get
it.
it. He got to get comfortable because it's different. You got to adjust. So like the shot,
Yeah.
and the offense, like a lot of that takes adjustment. Like playing with new people,
timing.
time and everything.
The timing. I
Even
saw
he
him-
ended up on Steph's IG live.
I saw
Yeah, I
that
saw that
last
last night. Yeah.
And Steph was like, "Yeah, you just gotta get your legs."
That was like, yeah, I'm in
Off
off season
season.
now. I'm like, yeah, nigga, because your ass is lost.
because it's cool. Because him and Steph, like he'll hit him and like
Carolina
one thing I
boys.
realized, like a lot of these NBA players are, like really pulling for him.
Yeah.
because they see how hard he works and they're like, "Man, take your time. Like you'll be good."
And he comes from that class of people who are sort of like the elder statesmen of the NBA now, right?
Yeah.
Like the Bronze, the Curry,
Yup,
the
yup, yup.
Westbrooks, like they all,
For sure.
you know, when they all kind of came up around the same time.
Yeah.
So I see, like, you know, doing the KD podcast, having Steph on his IG live. I could tell they want him to do well. You know what I mean?
Now you
Like
gotta
you
do
can
the
tell they
well.
want
Now
him
you
to be
gotta
like,
do the well.
Yeah, like they want him to be
But
like.
to me, it's like he did it.
He's already did it to
nigga-
me. He's already did it to me.
And I
'Cause,
told him, I was like, yo, you really out there playing. You look like you belong. Like, yeah, you missed a couple shots, but it's like you playing defense at a high level. You're competing, and you had to learn a bunch of new plays.
It's fucking hard.
It's
to be
hard.
It's listen.
Wasn't there
anybody out
another?
there,
Wasn't there another
it
rapper
is
doing that?
fucking hard to be a professional in any sport.
Any sport.
Especially
any
when your
fucking
game
sport.
is on like his game was on ESPN.
On ESPN?
and then NBA TV. I don't even want to.
They ain't televising the game if he ain't on there.
Kaz, how would you know? How would you know?
I didn't know. I didn't ask that.
Is this like an ongoing joke?
Yes, yes.
How?
All right.
He
So,
had the one episode.
yeah, see if you can find the clip.
Okay.
Please find
Before
the
we
clip.
leave.
It's
All
on,
I'm
it's on
saying
our
is,
Instagram.
I played with and against a lot of professionals.
All right, so,
that just happened?
Here
So-
we go.
That just happened just now? Okay, Cole.
Okay, Cole.
Okay, Go ahead, let's
That's
see
that
that.
confidence.
Okay, 15 footer.
Splash.
Okay,
Oh, no
Cole.
rim too. I like that. Okay, cool.
all right, so
I like this. I
Before we get
respect
out of here,
it.
Please pull up
the,
We're gonna tell the story.
the
I'm trying to
athlete.
tell the story.
Tell the story.
It's on the Instagram. You can tell it.
So, you know, Kaz is talking about
Just pull up this thing, the clip.
if he can find it that fast.
Wow,
Go ahead. Tell the story. Hopefully.
I'll let you
Kaz
tell the
is
story
talking
while I figure it
about,
out.
You know,
It's
playing basketball, you know, high school shit, whatever, you know, high school stories. He says, yeah, you know, me and KD, you know, we was on ESPN and, you know, he dropped 70 on us and this, that, and the third and whatever the case was. So the nigga goes into the
We
next
lost
sentence.
by like 40.
Nigga goes into the next sentence. You know, as an athlete,
Nonchalant. Oh, there it goes, right there.
This one. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, we were talking about Tom Brady
Talk about
first.
Tom Brady.
Another damn Super Bowl. As an athlete, as like,
Yeah, give me 2 seconds.
I did that nigga once.
one of the smartest I've ever met. But as a what? All I'm saying is, this man is going to his.
First off, fuck
Yo, we
both of
did
y'all.
not let that shit go.
You won't show what happened right after that,
We did
though.
not let that shit go. All right, relax.
You won't show what happened right after that, though.
Relax,
You won't show what
relax,
happened right after that, though.
Well,
Like,
Talk
that's
to
what
him.
I wanna see
Relax.
there.
Talk to him. Hold on.
Relax,
hold on.
Eden.
Hold on.
hey, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Let's-
yeah.
Let's show it in context. We're talking about real athletes, okay?
Oh, my God.
I can beat you in a foot race. Yeah. In a sprint, I think I can beat you. Not beat me. You're not beating me. I'm confident to do it right now, and I'm drunk. Any of these cameras come out?
Look at the dust! Look at the dust! Smoke that man!
Smoking on that low pack.
Different, bro.
Yeah.
Smoke this man! High step!
This is my favorite part of the whole thing, though.
Yes!
Right there.
Yes, hold on, do it, bro. Do the silencer. Hit him with the silencer. Yeah.
It's the refresh right afterward.
Wait for it.
Oh, my God.
Oh, we back. I'm a large dude, but I'm
Yo,
Anyway.
All right, man, I'm done.
classic.
I'm done.
Say all that to say.
I just came from a crazy night. All right, whatever.
Say all that to say.
You cannot say that no more.
appreciate what J. Cole's doing.
Yes.
As an athlete, it takes a lot to go overseas and hoop with real professionals. So, yo, Eve, thank you so much
This was a lot of
fucking
fun.
for kicking it with us today, man.
That was a lot of fun.
I'm so embarrassed you had to hear my
Congratulations.
stories, man.
Congratulations. Well, we got plenty of time for your concussion story.
No, I said I'm embarrassed you had to hear them.
Oh, well, yeah.
God damn it.
We're going to talk more about it.
It's part of the night. It's part of the weekend.
Yes, sir.
Fuck it, let's go.
Congratulations on the
Thank
off
y'all,
season.
man. Thank y'all.
Congratulations on everything with Dreamville. Shout out to you. Shout out to the fam. Thank you for coming on here.
For sure.
Tell the folks where they can follow you, find you.
Oh yeah.
You could take it off the screen, Eden. Thank you.
Give it up.
I fucking lost. I didn't mean to cut you off, E, but thank you. Take
I need to see
that, bro.
this.
Take that shit off. Thank you.
My bad.
Good God.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at King of Queens with a Z, and I'm on IG at King of Queens
With a Z.
25 with a Z.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, I don't know. I'm not like the biggest social guy, so sometimes
It's all good. Buy the album. Stream the albums, guys.
that's a fact. And shout out to everybody that supported the album for real, because you know a lot of people put in work. Shout out T Minus, Mez, obviously Cole put in all the work, but you know a lot of people you know that was involved. So shout out to them, and I'm glad I come here and talk to y'all about it. That was
Man, there's no other place. There's no other person I want to talk to about this project, bro.
Nah, I appreciate that.
I like I said, it hasn't come out of my rotation since it dropped. I texted you when it came out. I'm like, yo, this the one right here.
I ain't gonna lie, I'll say this.
I love it.
This is the not surprising because I knew how good the project was, but it was like people whose music opinions I really respect and value was hearing me like, yo, this is his best album. Cause I knew what he had, but it's like, you know, sometimes it takes time. You don't know how it's music, so you don't know how people gonna react to it, where they at in their life, how they gonna feel it. And you can
It's
never
hard
call
for people to come out immediately and be like, this is
Yeah.
it. You always
But-
wanna take
I
the
know.
time with it.
But you can feel something right away and be like, yo, this feels different. And that's how I've been feeling. Like literally on the way here, my boy Maurice from since he was a kid in Queens hit me like, all right, man, I feel like this is blasphemy, but I think this is better than Force of Dry. Like, it took him like a week. And I was like, I appreciate that because in this day and age, it's so hard for people to keep a conversation going past that first
Right,
couple of days.
That's that first week.
So it's like, yeah, for people
That conversation keeps going after that, then you know you got something.
exactly.
Something
So
different.
so I really appreciate it, and you, I seen your tweet, and then I seen like Elliot posted, and people were like, he's crazy, like he's bugging, but it's like, yo, like B-Dot said it, because B-Dot hit me about the same thing, like, you know, and I really respect his musical opinion. He was like, he's like, yo, there's a such thing as like love at first sight with music. Like, and sometimes,
Yes.
he said on a Genius piece with like, I think it was him, Rob, Letty, and Jinx. And it was like, I feel that. Sometimes you just kind of get that feeling. You just know what it is. So I appreciate you saying that, and I appreciate people.
There's another you know figure that came out from the gate. Ebro.
Yep.
We do Rap Life review
God.
every Monday, and that the Friday came out. We record Monday. He was like, "Yo, I never do this." He was like, "Yeah, it's a classic."
Yeah, no.
He was like 3 days after.
It's
He was
the
like,
one,
"Yo,
bro.
this is a classic."
I was ready
So when
to
I hear from him,
I was ready to step
this
out on the
different.
Twitter streets and be the first one to be like, listen, I know it's blasphemous to come out and say things. It's very easy to trash something as soon as it drops.
Yeah.
It's not so easy to
Yeah, that's what
praise
you
something.
said. You was
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I remember that.
which is true. Which is
It's
true.
very true. It's very true. When something's whack, you know right away. How come when something's great or classic,
Yeah.
you can't just say,
You know
anything?
why?
Because you
why
could
though?
take back saying it's
But
whack.
in this day
You
and
know
age,
why?
you're not supposed to.
You know why though? Is because there is people that as soon as something comes out, 12:01, they didn't really sit with it. They're just like, this is the greatest thing ever. But there's certain people like y'all really do the music thing.
Yeah.
There's certain people that they sit with it and they can tell. And to me, I respect that because like B-Dot when he said it, like, yo, this is
And you know the funny thing, is like I've had that love at first sight with a lot of projects, but because of like the whole intellectual property of people saying like, well, if you like it so much, you dick riding or you're being paid to.
Fuck them.
But people, clearly.
Listen, I love
but
music.
people in our position,
Yeah.
we always get labeled with that. Oh,
Yeah.
somebody, it's a campaign. Or
Fuck
you
'em.
get but it's like, yeah,
How
I've
much
had
they
a
pay you
lot
to
of love.
say that? Fuck out
I've had
here,
a lot of love at first sights. You know what I mean? Like Big Sean's latest album, Love at First Sight. Dom Kennedy shit, Love at First. Like there's a lot of projects that's like, damn, like I love this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's feelings, it's emotions. It's just like, and that's how this, I feel about this project as well. But I'm glad B-Dot put it in that phrase. I never
me
knew
too.
how to actually articulate.
When I heard it, I was like, it was him, and then Jinx was the other one that sent me something. I was like, damn, I never knew how to put it. Shout out to Jinx, that's my guy. He was like,
shout out to Jinx.
he was just like, yo, Cole really did an incredible job at like merging like generations, merging different sounds, and like merging these different kind of like regions, and making it sound together.
Yeah.
Which is always like a goal because you want to be able to like connect with as many people as you can.
Right.
But hearing him say that, I was like, damn, that's a good point. Like even we talked about the intro. It's like you got Cam starting it and then Little John ending it, and Cole's right in the middle. And North
and they calling it 95.
That's I-95
You know what I mean?
right
That's
there.
what-
Yeah, that's
all I got.
I-95 right there.
And like I literally, we would go from New York to Atlanta, stop in Carolina and party with no money in our pocket with a Honda Civic. That was our life, in college. Like we would go to A&T homecoming. So to me, it was
G-Hope.
like,
but for
greatest
me,
homecoming on earth. That's what it's called.
G-Hope.
Shout out my nigga RJ. Like we used to be out there.
but it was literally that Jeezy line that connected that whole thing.
For sure.
It was that Jeezy.
That
for
was
me.
that was
And I told him too. I literally, this funny because I told him, because when we sat with it, when I heard that Jeezy line and it kept connecting with me the most out of that whole song, I told him like, damn nigga, you got me feeling like we was moving
Because I remember,
bricks.
that song. And I remember when he was, I remember when Jeezy was going
like
like,
Jay used to talk about going to Virginia to sell bricks, and I used to be like, you got me feeling like we was moving drugs, nigga.
Nah, the
we
reason
was just
that
going to
Jeezy
fucking
line-
homecoming.
the reason that Jeezy line hit was because everybody knew where they was at when Jeezy
exactly.
had
That's
that.
like,
I was in
I had
high
a
school. I was
flashback.
in
I'm like,
Raleigh,
oh, I
so
remember
I'm
this.
like,
I remember that exact moment
this-
he's talking about.
This is home.
So it was. So yeah, I appreciate
That hit
y'all
home a lot.
having me on here and like having this conversation. I think it's dope, and for our generation, it's dope to be able to see bars at a mainstream level.
Yes.
That's what I appreciated.
Yes.
And I told shout out to Reason, we was talking for a bit, and I was like, I didn't realize how much people still cared about bars till that freestyle came out on
The LA Leakers joint.
and it was like trending.
The
and
Bill
people was
Cosby
quoting.
line, bro. Smoke that. I said, you ain't gotta say it. I thought it was clever.
He walked that line.
I thought it was clever, goddamn.
Walked that line something crazy.
I thought
I'm
it was
like,
great. It was
like,
right
Jermaine,
there. The line was right there. The line was right there. And he came right.
yeah. That was
I like it.
So-
I like it. But yo, Eve, again, thank you so much.
Thank y'all, man.
Congratulations
Thank
on all
y'all.
the success. Thank you for pulling up.
I think we done.
I think we're done.
Yeah, we good.
We're done. Let's wrap it up. Lo, you got anything you want to say?
No, I'm good, man. Just check out that Rap Life Live with Clark Atlanta. It's on
Yes, sir.
YouTube right now. Listen to Hip Hop R&B Throwback every day on Apple Music, 8 to 9 o'clock. And that's about it. I'm right here with y'all.
Rosie, you want to shout out the doctors?
Shout out to Presbyterian Hospital for taking care of me on the CAT scan. Also,
Shout out to Hooga Spots in there.
shout out to the hot tub.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Happy Birthday, Jasmine. Hope you enjoyed it.
Happy birthday, Jazz.
Got
Happy birthday,
the
sis.
Yeah, happy birthday,
And
man.
shout out, happy birthday to my beautiful lady, Jasmine. On Monday, yeah.
Monday?
Nice.
Hey.
Happy birthday, baby. And last thing I want to say is, God, what was I going to say before I wrapped up here?
I don't know.
Shit. Yes. Oh my gosh. The Knicks start the
I was
playoffs
about to do
tomorrow.
that.
Yes, sir.
Well, all right, so we don't know what's going to happen because today
No, we
is-
don't know.
Today's Saturday
We
and
don't
they
know.
play tomorrow.
So the game, if the Knicks won or lost, whatever, make sure you tune in Wednesday after game 2. See me, MSG PM,
There it is.
with my homegirl.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah, it's a great
Thank you,
show.
by the way.
Seeing him on MSG billboards on
Means
30
Just because I know how much of a Knicks fan you are.
Yes.
That's
I know
it's so sweet.
Like,
It's so sweet.
it's literally the ultimate dream to see.
like, come on.
Like, this nigga really made
Like
it to the
right
top.
now, nigga, like to the MSG is
At
right
the
there, and your
time, it's
face
just
is like
cash.
looking at the garden. So I understand what that
Yeah.
feels like. I know what that feels like for
Every
him.
time I see him, like, this
Nigga made it.
this nigga took talking shit
nigga
about the
did
Knicks
it,
on Twitter
bro.
to the
Yes,
top.
sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. And obviously.
And your co-host, she's super dope.
Yes, shout
Yeah.
out Monica McNutt.
I think I just seen her. She was on First Take.
Yeah, she did First
Yeah,
Take.
she
She does a
killed
lot of ESPN stuff right now.
dope.
She was the only analyst that called the Grizzlies over the Warriors.
I seen that.
This
That's what I actually
past
seen.
weekend. And then John
Shout
Morant
out to
shouted
her.
her out right afterwards. So
Yeah.
shout out Monica, my co-host, my sister. Big love to her.
Bro, I cannot wait to hear you call the game next to fucking Clyde
Oh man, don't.
or Walt Frazier.
Come on, let's
I
cross-
cannot
It
wait.
might be next to
Crossover,
Mike
what it
Breen
is.
because
I,
Clyde's
whoever,
like,
I cannot wait to hear that man.
Shout out Mike Breen, my colleague, going into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, I
this
can't
year
wait.
as well.
I know because I know it's happening.
Yes,
I know it's gonna happen.
Man, I don't. Man,
I know it's gonna happen.
your
So
word.
it's gonna happen.
Lips to
soon.
God,
I
bro.
want to say I got a lot of Knicks friends. Shout out Elite.
Yeah.
Shout out Proof. They in the chat. My man Ted. They be fighting us off all the time in the chat.
Man, I'm good.
But I do for y'all, for the sake of Knicks fans that have been
Yes.
waiting for a long time. I am happy for y'all.
You've been in LA for a while.
Yeah,
You're
you know
here.
what? I was
The city feel different, don't it?
I know. Like I just seen like people celebrating outside the Garden. It's a special moment for the city.
is, yeah.
Whether like, you know, I'm agree or not with certain things. I got nothing but love.
I'm a
for
lay
Knicks
off.
fans.
You know what? I'm a
You know
lay
what
off.
Knicks fans deserve? It's not even about the organization. The Knicks fans deserve.
We
it.
done
I'm a-
suffered.
I'm a lay off. I'm a lay off for
Oh
the
wait,
first round. I'm a
wait!
lay
I do
off.
gotta
I'm a lay
say one
off.
thing.
What's up?
I do got one bone to pick with you.
What's the ball? What's up?
You know, I'm the biggest. My favorite player of all time is Melo. I got nothing but love for Julius Randle.
Let's talk about it.
That
Let's
tweet-
talk about it. Yo,
that tweet
Julius,
was a little wild.
Yo,
That tweet was a little wild, bro.
player in Knicks history to average 24.
It's just
10,
it's a different game,
and
though.
It is a different game.
And the
It's a
way they
different
run
game.
their offense is literally through him.
They run it through him, but on the same.
But
at the
that
same-
Melo year, bro.
At the same token, you got to take into the fact, like, you know, when Melo came in, they thought he was gonna. You know, the Knicks were already like on their way.
Mm-hmm.
When he brought in Julius Randle, it was like, oh, you don't struck out on this, that.
Yeah, no, for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
that first season he was kind of iffy, whatever. Like, in a weird way, that Most Improved Player award that he gonna get at the end of the year is everything that any Knicks fan could hope for, because it's like, all right,
Sure, it's improvement is like
you don't want to do. I mean, granted, Brooklyn's gonna do what they're gonna do. Congratulations to them. If I was in a position, I'd be happy to have 3 superstars too. But in a great world, you want to.
Sounded like hella shit.
You would want that. You would want that franchise to build for longevity, and I feel like the Knicks, for the first time in my adult life, are built
I can
for
respect that.
sustained.
But
I
let's
can
not
respect.
forget,
I can respect.
Not
that.
shitting.
Melo was
I can respect that
the
too.
only player
I love Melo.
to get an MVP vote that year other than LeBron.
Listen, that was a petty vote. I ain't gonna hold you.
I love Melo, but I know.
And I
But
love,
still.
I love Melo.
I know.
I'm the biggest. I'm one of the biggest.
But
Melo
I will
fans.
say this. I think there's a lot to not only appreciate but to respect about the work that Julius Randle put in.
because he
where
changed
he's
the
at.
culture too.
Where he's at, and I know, you know, from being obviously really close with Dennis, he used to always tell me like, bro, that dude is good dude, comes in
Yeah.
here and works. He's a leader. I respect that. I met him a few times through them, but
too, yeah.
so I respect that, and I think that is the shining moment of the Knicks season.
That's what it is, man. It's good. It's good that it feels homegrown. That's why people come in here. I seen a tweet from Black Trey. Shout out Black Trey. He said, "Yo, they treat the Nets like the Clippers out here." I'm like, because they are the Clippers out here, bro. Like the Knicks
outside of here,
of it, of course. Everywhere else, it's like, yeah, KD, Harden, Irvin. Obviously, I mean, I'll always got love for Kyrie, St. Pat's High School. Shout out. But at the same time,
As an athlete. Shout out.
as an athlete.
at the same time, there's something dope about a team that was built through.
It is a weirdly built team, I'll say that though.
Yeah,
because like 8 of those players about to be free agents.
A lot of those
so it's gonna have to
dudes-
be like a real
A lot of dudes are gonna command some bread next year.
Yeah.
That's the elephant in the room nobody wants to talk about.
Pay
It's like,
Nerlens.
a lot of dudes.
I've always been a fan of Nerlens Noel, so pay him.
I like Nerlens, but you got Mitch Robinson too,
For sure.
who might
Big fan of
come
Mitch.
back. You got Burks is going to need to get paid. You got D Rose is going to need to get paid. You got
Bullock's
going to need to get
Bullock
paid.
had moments where he looked like the savior of the Knicks. Like,
Yo.
he just hit like 3 threes out of
Mr.
nowhere.
3-and-D, like give me a couple threes, lock up they got, nigga. But anyway, this drops Monday, so whatever happened with the Knicks
Christ,
yesterday.
they didn't even win one fucking playoff game, and y'all niggas in
shut
here
up.
talking like,
Damn.
shut up. This is like, when do you
Wrong
get it? Like,
city,
Jesus.
goddammit.
He's already
These niggas
got his-
win
he
one.
got his t-shirt already.
Anyway,
I'm happy for you.
Shirts and hats.
It's been a long time coming.
I appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much. That's all I want to say. Like we do every time we're here. Thank you for tuning in to Say Less. Make sure you tune in every Monday. Subscribe on any streaming platform: Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Google, SoundCloud, wherever you get your podcast.
This is Snapchat.
Make sure you subscribe to the Snapchat page. We're almost at 150,000 motherfucking followers on the Snapchat. So make sure you subscribe to the Snapchat Discover page as well. YouTube.com/Kazeem for the video. Man, and like we always do every time this week, stay free, stay safe, and always say less. We'll see y'all next week.
Don't
Go
inhale.
Knicks.
At least
hookah.
do less,
And make sure you stream the off season, goddamn.
God.
Yeah.
It's a new year.
Yeah.
It's new possibilities, and boy, do we ever need this.
That's facts.
Cricket Wireless can help you make that switch with a new plan, $30 a month.
Yes. That's right for you.
Listen, that's right for you.
Yeah.
That's right for you.
Yeah.
That's right for you.
That's right.
Cricket Wireless, make that switch now.
Smile and switch to Cricket. Activation and other fees and restrictions apply. Terms subject to change. See stores for details.
You couldn't just look at the camera and say it?
I'd rather look at you guys.